Hello, everybody. Hope we're all having a great Sunday. Let's see what we've gotten here. Seth, yo, what up, early squad? Knives, how are you? Sucks to hear that I'm number 294 on the luck chart thing, whatever it's called, but... Hi, Tough. Crowa, thank you so much for the 33 months of subscribing. Much appreciated. Late button. I know. I'm sorry. I forgot I hadn't taken out the fucking trash, so I had to take another 5 minutes to do that. But tonight we have something very cool and very special because, quite literally, dropped very frankly out of fucking nowhere. We had almost 3 years. That's fucking insane. Out of fucking nowhere, something very cool has been released. The Nintendo Shit Cube. Not quite. So, for those of you who are in tune with the Mother community and the Earthbound community, some of you might know a person by the name of Monkey Ness. And if you don't, you absolutely fucking should. He's one of the best YouTubers, in my opinion. He's one of the best YouTubers when it comes to Mother content. I don't know how to describe it. His content is super varied. He goes into a lot of history about Mother stuff. He'll talk about like the ups and downs of like the different Mother games. And he also has videos like, I turned Ness into a bar of chocolate because I hate him. Hi, Patty. Also, hello, Raven. I didn't actually say hello. Hey, Richie. Welcome, welcome. So, Monkey Ness is genuinely become one of my favorite content creators, especially with how much I absolutely adore, Mother as a franchise and all the games and stuff like that. So, with himself, as well as... With himself, that's a dumb way to phrase it, but... a small team that Monkey Ness put together, a team consisting of himself, I'm going to butcher these names, but I'm so sorry, Malfasura, Yarshmello, RKD, and Yasu Nekoban, have put together a little game for Mother fans to enjoy and play. So a small bit of history, and this is going to be important. I didn't watch the full video about it, but Monkey Ness released a video where he talks about how there was a... I just want to make sure... Okay, this is looping intentionally. So back in the 90s, there were a series of choose-your-own-adventure books exclusive to Japan that were based off of different multimedia franchises, but I think their biggest ones that they did in the 90s were video games. And naturally, with Mother being such a massive release in the 90s on the Famicom, with it being such a 80s, 90s, whenever Mother 1 released, with Mother being such a huge release, naturally it got its own choose-your-own-adventure book. Again, though, only released in Japan because we never got Mother 1 in America. Not at least until, what was it, 2019, something like that? Whenever it dropped on Wii U Virtual Console, or was it Switch, NES Online? Either way. Monkey Ness, oh my god, speak of the devil! Holy shit! Yup, Wii U, oh my god. Folks, Monkey Ness! The one and only. Dev in chat, oh my god, hello, devs! Oh god, oh no, now I'm... Well, welcome in, devs, for Mother Invasion from the Unknown. These incredible people who've worked so pissing myself now. These incredible people who've worked very hard have turned this obscure Mother choose-your-own-adventure book into a incredible visual novel. With the help of a team of artists, translators, developers, programmers, I am so excited to play it. Also, thank you for plucking a Pikmin. This will be a fun romp for us. We'll see if any bugs pop up. You know, it wouldn't be my first time finding bugs in an Earthbound or Mother thing, because funny enough, I played what was it? Bound to the Dark World, that Earthbound ROM hack that turns it into Deltarune Chapter 1. I actually wound up finding a bug. Watching you for research. Well, welcome in, folks. You all are very welcome to stick around. I'm very excited to play this because ever since I've played Earthbound myself earlier this year, I've become a huge fan of the franchise. And listen, tugging at shirt collar. I'm a little starstruck here, Monkey Ness, man. I was just talking about how I love your videos. Game is super beta, so do expect bugs. Fuck yeah. No, I am very excited. From the bits that I saw, from pictures I saw online, and the little bit of the video from Monkey Ness, I didn't want to watch too much because I didn't want to get spoiled. But it looks incredible. I'm so excited. I'm genuinely so excited to try this out. So I guess without further ado, and considering we got such a late start, let's not waste any more time and get to the game. Oh, you know what? Before I forget, let me first go ahead and pull up the game. Let me go ahead and put a link here in chat. Try the VN for yourself. Let me go ahead and pin this. Boom. Perfect. So if anybody does want to try this for themselves, wants to play this, honestly, look, I need it to be said that I love Mother 1. I think Mother 1 is underrated, but is understandably not looked upon as highly as Earthbound and Mother 3, because it's a Famicom RPG. But I'm very excited to try this out. The more Mother 1 stuff we get, the better, because I think more people need to appreciate Mother 1. But I guess without any more delays and without any other further ados, let's get started. Excerpts from the Press Herald found on microfilm in the Portland Public Library. Let me also go ahead and turn on my cursor for this, actually, because I feel like that would be preferable. Heckman. Patty, thank you so much for the 3-stream streak. August 6th, 1902. Bizarre black clouds over the high peaks of Maine. Residents of Podunk and Marysville have become aware of black clouds covering the summit of Mount Etoy, a mountain that can be found halfway between the two small towns located along the Central Maine Railway. It has been reported that these black clouds are known to emit strange flashes of light every now and then. Couple goes missing on Interstate Highway. Oh, so is this retelling the opening? Interesting. Is it like older VN vibes? This is made in Ren'Py. So Ren'Py, or Ren'Py, I presume it's Ren'Py. And it's like a very old-fashioned style UI. I had to get really familiar with the story of this game when developing, and I have to say I love this story. Oh, yes! I love Mother 1's story. I am in such a small minority of, like, I almost like Mother 1's story maybe a little more than Earthbound's. I am midway through midway. I'm still very early in my first playthrough of Mother 3, but I'm loving that as well. But man, Mother 1 is so underrated. At around 8 p.m. on August 11th, a married couple went missing while traveling along the interstate highway, which leads from Portland through Bangor and ends at the Canadian border. George Halloway, 35, and his wife Maria, 29, had set out from the town of Marysville and were heading to their home in Podunk. Podunk Sheriff Arthur Grail, 46, who knows the couple well, has stated that he does not believe the pair would have had any reason to disappear voluntarily, because their disappearance occurred on the same day that previously reported black clouds happened to vanish from the above Mount Etoy. Rumors began to spread among the locals that the two events were connected in some way. However, the local police have disputed this claim as having no basis in scientific fact. The site where the couple appears to have gone missing is about 20 miles from town, a lonely, desolate stretch of land at the foot of Mount Etoy, surrounded by open fields and forests. The Ford Model T, the couple... Does it actually say Ford Model T in the book? The Ford Model T the couple had been driving was discovered among the nearby trees. Search for missing couple finally comes to an end. The Portland Police Department and the Podunk Sheriff's Office have called an end to the search for the Halloways, a married couple who suddenly went missing along the interstate highway on August. Let me go ahead and pull up my old Ness PNG. The search for the Halloways, a married couple who suddenly went missing along the interstate highway on August 11th. The couple's disappearance has been shrouded in mystery, and not one substantial clue has ever been found. The couple has 3 sons, and the Portland Family Court, as well as their appointed attorney, are currently tasked with finding suitable guardians for the boys. The book is full of products by name? That's insane! Oh, that makes sense. Ren'Py is Python. Okay. Oh, okay. So excited. First time we're seeing someone play the game other than us. Well, I am very honored, actually. I am... fucking... Where's that image? Where's that fucking image? Hold on. Dude, I'm gonna fuck this up bad, dude. I'm... Dude, I'm gonna fuck this up terrible, dude. I'm so fucking scared. Oh, man. Missing Mr. Holloway found. In the early hours of October 29th, a lone man was found collapsed along the shore near L.A. By Judd Clayton, 47, a manager of a transport company who happened to be passing by and promptly alerted the L.A. Police Department. After some investigation, it was determined that the collapsed man was George Holloway, age 35 when last seen, who had gone missing along a highway near Podunk, Maine, 2 years prior. Mr. Holloway is currently being treated at a state hospital in Youngtown. Although Mr. Holloway has regained consciousness, he claims to have no memory of the 2 years during which he was missing, and has stated that he has no knowledge of the whereabouts of his wife, Maria, age 29 when last seen, who had disappeared along with him. Oh. August 14th, 1988. Doug, are you awake? I could hear my mom's voice coming from downstairs. Of course I was awake. For the past several days, I've been dragged out of dreamland at the break of dawn by the roar of military helicopters as they weave through the sky above town. Where this could be considered death. I got out of bed and went over to the window, and as I opened the curtains, I could see a Bell UH-1 helicopter flying by. You were not kidding, they just dropped full-on names! Its rotors chopped through the air as it skimmed the highest branches of the cedar trees growing along Gardena? The road that runs straight through the heart of town. I'm also going to apologize beforehand. My reading comprehension skills are absolute dog water, so I will stammer and be like, Hello, Impulse. Welcome. I looked down the street and saw that a police car was flashing blue lights was parked in front of Mr. Bailey's house next door. Then an ambulance arrived. There were several police officers and men in business suits standing in front of Mr. Bailey's house talking with one another. They used complicated words like martial law. What? Lately, there were strange things being reported on the news every single day. Murders, disappearances, and sometimes things even stranger than that, happening all over the place. Please remember to say frequently, lots of bad choices that can kill you and set you back. Whoa! Everyone locked their houses up tight. No one was allowed to go out after dark. If you happen to see a suspicious person or something that didn't seem right, you were supposed to report it to the police immediately. It really seemed like something very serious was going on. Sure, I was glad I didn't have to go to school and all, but clearly this was the biggest thing that ever happened in the United States. No, in the entire world! I got a call from my good friend Jim McCann, and he told me that apparently Mr. Crockett, the shoemaker, was fishing in the Royal River when he saw his nephew Harold wandering aimlessly on the opposite shore. But the thing about Harold was, well, about a year ago, he'd been hit and killed by an express train running along the nearby Paradise line, and yet here he was, staggering along the water's edge like a marionette with a broken string, staring blankly into the distance. So cool the original material was an adventure book. Yeah, right? Okay, so this is from what I understand. The Nintendo shit cube. From what I understand, this is a adaptation of the first game turned into a choose your own adventure book. And the devs can correct me if I'm wrong on that, but that's my understanding, is this is an adaptation of the video game. Correct. Jim also happens to like horror movies, so he excitedly added, "It's just like George A. Romero's Night of the Living Dead." 3 days later, Mitch Holland, the vice principal of Podunk High School, was killed right in the middle of Harley Street. Mr. Holland's body was torn to shreds as if by a creature with very sharp claws, and on top of that, something like wild animal hair was scattered on the ground all around his corpse. Game, choose your own adventure book, back to game? I wonder what Jim will have to say once he finds out about that. Would he say that the culprit was clearly a werewolf or something? Sheesh. Around that same time, weird black clouds rolled in and covered the summit of Mount Itoy, which can be seen from here in town. If I remember right, the newspapers reported that scientists and a military research team went up into the mountain after that, but they never came back down. Akio Higuchi, if I pronounced that right, the author was given pretty much carte blanche, to do whatever he wanted with the story. Really? Wow. How's the game going? Well, we just started, and I'm already, I'm very invested, actually. We actually, we have some of the devs in chat, so I really do appreciate you guys being here. This is very cool. I'm already really, I got this big fucking smile on my face. Doug, are you up yet? Yeah. I went down the stairs, still wearing my pajamas. My mama, Carol, and my two little sisters, Minnie and Mimi, were in the kitchen, and next to where I usually sit, there was one other chair. My mom always avoided looking at it, but that was my papa's chair. I walked behind his chair and sat down in my own, and I began to eat my breakfast. Half a year ago, my papa went missing. He went to work that day and then just never came back. Mama begged the police to search for him, hired a private investigator, and did absolutely everything she could. But in the end, no one had any clue where he could have gone. Since then, my mama threw out everything that had belonged to my papa, even photos of him that she had held so dear. But I still believe in my papa. I know he's gonna come back someday. There must be some very important reason why he hasn't been coming home yet. Doug. I was brought back to my senses. Huh? What is it? Mom's eyes seemed so sad as she looked at me, but then she seemed to pull herself together, and she spoke with a warm smile. Once you're done with breakfast, you should get right to studying. Mr. Donovan gave you a whole lot of homework, didn't he? But I didn't bother with the massive pile of really annoying homework that bald old Mr. Donovan had given out, and instead I sneaked off into the attic as usual. Excuse me. Mama tells me not to come up here because it's too dusty, but adults never seem to realize that saying things like that only makes the minds of curious 12-year-old boys like me even more curious. I've had asthma since I was very little, so places full of dust are no good for me, but going up into the attics is kind of like a mini adventure for any kid, don't you think? The stairs creaked as I climbed them, and the damp mustiness and the smell of mold were heavy in the air. All the things up here looked like precious treasure to me. There were so many things from a time long forgotten, and that had been forgotten by time way before I'd even been born. An old grandfather clock, an Underwood typewriter covered in so much dust that I couldn't even make out the letters on its keys. A little girl's doll sitting and staring blankly at the cobwebs spread across the ceiling. Piles of books heaped against the walls. A Springfield rifle with a rusted barrel. With my inhaler in my pocket just in case of an asthma attack, I began to explore the items around me, like a deep-sea diver searching through murky water for gold on the wreckage of an old sunken ship. Then, suddenly, a book landed at my feet with a thud. I picked it up to see what it was, and the cover, which was rough and rugged as a tombstone, had the word diary written across it, and the owner's name was apparently George Martin Holloway. Holloway. That was my last name too, but who the heck was he? My curiosity got the better of me, as usual, as I blew the dust off the diary and slowly turned the pages. The diary was really, really old. I flipped to the last page, which was dated December 1st, 1912. Also, this is gonna make a good video? Absolutely. I may turn this into a proper YouTube video. I don't know. I found myself fascinated by the writing scrawled there in blue fountain pen ink. The diary ends here. There is no longer a need for me to keep writing in one. Would love to see that. This is an account of the final few years of my life. Although what is written here has grave significance to me personally, it will have no meaning to others. Well, I suppose that's true of typical diaries. However, I dare not call what I am about to write a typical diary. It is meant to reach one particular boy in the very distant future, and so, yes, I'd call it something more like a letter. Thank you so much for the for the sweet tweet you posted about me yesterday. I'm very flattered by it. Dude, I can't believe that tweet is blowing up like it is. It's got like 600 likes. Hey, I'm so sorry. Not to take away from this, I am genuinely curious how you got your Ness figure down when you sent it sailing away on a balloon. I'm very, very curious about that, if you don't mind me asking. Oh, man. Back to the game. A story for another time. Dude, Mother 4 is gonna be insane. Cold open, Ness tied to a balloon. Welcome in, Yosh. Oh, man. The boy's name is Douglas Holloway. I was stunned. There was my name, written in a diary that was so many decades old. I figured it was probably just a coincidence, but I suddenly felt as though someone was watching me and I couldn't help but look around. But it couldn't be a coincidence. This diary belonged to my great-grandpa George Holloway, and he seemed to know, even so many decades ago, that I'd be reading it today at this very moment. I am now 45 years old. I am bedridden, and death will come for me very soon. And that is because I've finally come back from a very long journey. But Douglas, perhaps you prefer to be called Doug. You are 12 years old now, and I'm guessing you're a lively and very spirited boy. And starting this very moment, you'll be going on your own very long journey, although yours will be a bit different from mine. Also, he's 45 and he's dying? Jesus. Lately, strange things have been happening all around you, and your mother and your sisters are probably quite frightened. But you mustn't be afraid. And even when you are afraid, you mustn't show it. Otherwise, they will surely take advantage of your fear. The purpose of your journey will be to find a lost song. In your time, I have a feeling that there will be devices that can be used to preserve music, but there is nothing like that here in my time, and so I have found various other ways to allow the song to be remembered. As for just how important this song is, I will write about that later, but know that it is a very special song. It is the only thing that can save the country you live in, no, the entire planet Earth, from a calamity that will soon threaten to destroy it. Not the Monkey Ness. Oh no, he is! He's very much the Monkey Ness. Monkey Ness and Malfasura, I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name. Malfasura also, they are developers on this visual novel, Mother Invasion from the Unknown, which is a visual novel adaptation of a choose-your-own-adventure book that was released exclusively in Japan that is an adaptation of Mother 1. So, it's awesome. I'm sorry, I'm a little starstruck. The two of you are here because this is so cool. This is so awesome. You have very special powers yourself. You are probably already aware of some of them, but your powers go beyond what you know. There is a much greater power hidden dormant within your heart. The sudden roar of a helicopter overhead startled me, and I dropped the diary. But it was true. I had strange powers since way back. If I stared at a pencil lying on my desk long enough, I could make it do all kinds of whoops. Oh, wow. Yeah, thank you, Renpai. I could make it do all kinds of funny dances. And what's more, me and my dog Mick could communicate with each other by speaking with our minds. I always figured it was this stuff called ESP or telepathy or whatever, but you must embark on a journey and you must use these powers to fight your enemies. It pains me to know that you, my precious great-grandson, must undertake such a task. But the only thing that can defeat them, Doug, is the power that you possess. That aspect of the book is an image edit from, of the book from A Link to the Past. Can you believe that the 3 hours before the deadline, Monkey asked me to remove the ability to rewind? Yeah? That's crazy. Oh, man. And you will have many allies to support you along the way. First, of course, there is your father, Jack Holloway. No matter where Jack has gone, you must trust your father. It was for your own sake that he's gone into hiding. He's lying low somewhere out there in order to protect you from them. It's here, I thought you were... Oh! Whoops! Well, you said you're looking for bugs, so... However, you will be able to speak with Jack at any time. Well, if that's not an intended feature, I'm not going to abuse it. You know, if anything, it's like if that happens again, where like I accidentally skip a dialogue thing, I'll use it. But I Scout's honor. However, you'll be able to speak with Jack at any time. Whenever you wish to speak with your father, you can pick up a phone anywhere in town. Anytime you do, I'm sure your father will find a way to speak with you. The rewind is intended, please use it. But that's not in the nature of a choose-your-own-adventure book. You will also meet 2 friends during your travels. They are children from other families in my bloodline. As such, they may have powers similar to your own, or perhaps even stronger. You must work together with them to... The diary ended there. Well, to be more accurate, the rest of the page was torn off. Still in the daze, I dropped the diary to the floor. The first thing I was surprised to hear about was my papa. If all this was true, I wanted to find him as soon as possible, but after leaving us behind, where did he go? See the history? Yes! No, I am aware of that, because, oh yeah, why didn't I just use that? No, I've played some visual novels that are made in Renpai before. Actually, funny enough, so a little thing about myself. I was actually on a dev team. We were gonna make a dating sim in Renpai. It did not go anywhere. Wiping away tears, I looked back at the torn page again, and then I heard my mama's screams coming from downstairs. The screams had come from the living room. The living room was pretty wide and had a fireplace and a couch. And there, right in the middle of it, were my mom and my sisters holding each other tight and shivering fearfully, and some strangely shaped thing was dashing all around them. It was an electric lamp! The fight song! That's great! In fact, it was the lamp given to my mama and papa as a wedding present by my uncle Owen, who lived in Boston. It had a large cylindrical shape, and it was made in Japan. And right now, it was hopping around the room, thrusting that shade out in front of itself and whirling it menacingly. Poltergeist activity. That's what it was called when invisible ghosts were able to cause physical phenomena. My good friend Jim, the excitable horror fanatic, had told me all about it some time ago, but now it was really happening, and in my own home, no less. Caution, the lamp is aggressive! But I didn't have time to stand there in stunned disbelief. As if it had a mind of its own, that lamp from Uncle Owen spun around and came right for me. More out of instinct than surprise or fear, I aimed my thoughts directly at the lamp. As soon as I did, the lamp froze in midair, and then, like an explosion, it burst into a fine powder. Was that My power? Oh, Doug. By the way, I'm so curious. A lamp is actually where about 50% of players get their first game over. Oh, awesome. Oh, okay, lie. I was gonna say, that's great, because I still have yet to play Mother 1, and now I am so fucking scared. Oh, man. Mom and my little sisters rushed over. By the way, is he called Doug in the book? Because I thought the default name is Ninten, but maybe they changed that for the book. Was not familiar with that. Again, I didn't watch the full thing of Ness's video, because I didn't want to get spoiled, but he's called Doug in the CYO. No kidding. Huh. Wow. I wanted to comfort them, but I didn't have time for that now. I was going to have to tell my mom and my sisters about the journey I was about to go on, and so I had to get a few things ready for my journey. First, there was my knife, which I could use as a weapon. It was a Gerber knife given to me by my dad for my birthday a long time ago. It had my initials, DH, engraved to the blade. The name Ninten was... No kidding! Huh. In my backpack, there were sandwiches my mama had made in case I got hungry, rain gear, and extra pairs of underwear. I also had $20 in cash. And then, whoops, I can't forget that, my Primatine? My Primatine inhaler, in case of an asthma attack. It's a device that sprays a mist into my mouth that can keep a fit of asthma under control. I opened the front door and went down the steps, and as I stood there under my lawn, my mama ran up and hugged me as tight as she could. Oh, Doug, do you really have to go? Yeah, but I'll be okay. I promise I'll be home soon. I just gotta say, I love this art so much. This art is so good. I love this Ninten design. Awesome fucking adaptation. So, this is actually, well, rather, the cover art for Mother Invasion from the Unknown, the artist for that cover, I want to say took some liberties, like, with the design of Ninten, and I feel like it's been translated to the visual novel so well. I mean, look at this. The PSI hat goes so hard, dude. Just awesome. Awesome designs. Yeah, same with Lloyd, yeah, because Lloyd has white hair and then was given brown hair. Friend Yarshmallow did all the portraits. Yeah, dude, Yarshmallow did an awesome job. You all did. Like, I'm blown away with this. So you guys have done an excellent job, dude. The only thing our translator chose to change was localizing Mother to Earthbound Beginnings and change the town names to match the Sandhop localization. Interesting. PNG is so cute. Yeah, this was, my PNG was done by Tuff the Cat. It's an amazing Ness-inspired fit. I keep forgetting, well, not forgetting, but I keep like it's always like out of my mind, but then I look over and I remember that I have a little Mr. Saturn. So you're cosplaying Doug to too many games next year. No, I gotta do what I did this year, right? I gotta do what I did this year, and I gotta dress up as the photographer. Yeah, but I'll be okay. I promise I'll be home soon. Then, after waving goodbye to my sisters and to my dog Mick as he stood in front of the doghouse and wagged his tail, I headed out. The town of Podunk was a lot quieter than I expected. Across the street, I didn't see any patrol cars parked outside of Mr. Bailey's house anymore, and there was no sign of the police officers who had been standing around out there either. As I made my way down Gardena Street, I came to a small park with black locust trees, and the road split two ways. Oh! One path led north toward the suburbs. In other words, led away from the neighborhood I live in. And the other path led south towards the center of town. I'm gonna go ahead. Let's not save. This isn't gonna be a decision that fucking kills us, right? I'm gonna head out, got some more IT class to do tomorrow. Right on, Yosh. Enjoy your lurk. Welcome to the choice of the Choose Your Own Adventure book. This is it. This is all it. This is the only choice in the Choose Your Own Adventure book. I think I'm gonna head north. Oh shit, it's Teddy! I chose my path, and gradually the cozy homes became fewer and fewer, and they were replaced by warehouses, garages, and dilapidated buildings. There were rarely too many people out and about in this neighborhood, even on a regular day. This area was known as Skid Row, and was a place where drifters and hoodlums roamed the streets. Then suddenly a figure appeared before me, stumbling unsteadily as it went. He was definitely human, and pretty young too, at about 20 years old. But once I got a good look at him, I could see that his clothes were ragged and torn, and his face was covered in mud. First death incoming? No! His Levi jeans were ripped to shreds below his knees, and the tattered edges hung low like seaweed over his legs as he slowly staggered towards me. As soon as this guy saw me, he suddenly raised both his arms and came at me, growling with his eyes open wide. How should I protect myself? By using items. brace myself for a fight. Oh, shit. Oh, no, dude. Quick save. Listen, I used save states in my playthrough of Earthbound and Mother 3. I'm not gonna be shameful here. Here's a knife. I took the Gerber net from my belt and held it at the ready in my right hand. Urgh. With an eerie moan, the guy lunged for me. I dodged the guy's attack. With a bit of reluctance, I struck his left leg with my knife. Urgh. Luckily, it seemed the pain was so intense that it brought him back to his senses. What am I doing here? I think someone or something was controlling you. The man staggered away, holding his head. I also like how the nameplate's a little bit darker when it comes to like his thoughts, like the inner monologue or the narration, and then it's lighter when he's like speaking. Clever little detail. And 3 points of experience, yay! Well, I should probably get going. I continued walking for a short while, and eventually I came to the heart of Podunk. There were several houses here, and many of the town's residents were out and about. Thankfully, there was a shopping center nearby too, a short distance away. There was also a particularly dangerous part of Podunk known as Skid Row. Where should I go now? Oh. Every time he compliments an artistic choice I made, my ego gets inflated. Look, dude, I'm amazed by this. This is incredible. Like, you guys already, like, again, fucking hats off to you guys. You guys did an awesome job. Let's speak with the locals. I presume we can speak with the locals and then go to the shopping center. Well, 2 people I happen to know who live in this part of town are Annette Cartwright, a girl in my class at Podunk Junior High who lives on Oak Street, and Matthew, a man who works at the tackle and bait shop and lives pretty close by. I wonder if they know anything about things that have been going on lately. Who should I go see? Let's talk to Annette. I rang the doorbell at Annette's house, and she answered the door with a very surprised look on her face. Doug, what are you doing here? Well, I guess Suddenly I felt a bit flustered. Aren't you afraid you'll get caught by the police wandering around town at a time like this? Dead people are coming back to life and walking around. Zoo animals have gone berserk, and all kinds of strange things keep happening, but no one can make any sense of... I mean, I'm happy that school's closed and all, but... Chatty Annie. It was only then that I remembered this girl's nickname, because if you let her, she'd talk your ear off for the rest of the eternity. But they say that the Paradise Line isn't running at all, which is kind of surprising, don't you think? I heard that the railway bridge up north collapsed and that there was a landslide that blocked the tracks south of Marysville. She was still talking as I excused myself and quickly left Annette's house behind. There was an official Mother Anime with an English dub. I expect Ness to sound like me. Like me? Ness is like 10, isn't he? Let's go to the shopping center. Yeah, it's my favorite song! Buy something, will ya? Dude, I've been showing my friends that fucking video. It's the Squidward SpongeBob one. Well, you can't play music on a piece of paper. And it's like with the Mother 1+2 version of the song versus the original. All those wrong notes you're playing sounded terrific. In the northern part of town, there was a very prominent shopping center called Franklin Gibson's. As soon as I got there, I went in through the front entrance. National Western Bank was on the first floor, and the second floor and higher were all huge shopping areas. My mom and my sisters came here often to buy things. What should I do in the shopping center? Let's go to the bank. There was a payphone to the side of the bank entrance. I picked up the receiver and projected my thoughts as hard as I could. Come on, Papa, pick up the phone. Then at last, I heard his familiar voice. Early in the process of adding assets, I actually accidentally forgot to make the music stop playing when you leave the shop, so you just get this song. Okay, I love the song. No, thank you. Well, if it isn't my Doug boy, how have you been? Papa! I almost burst into tears. What do I need from Dad right now? Money. Doug, my boy, you've been working hard out there. You need money, don't you? My papa's voice was as kind and gentle as ever. Yeah. Well then, I'll deposit as much money into your account as you've earned by fighting and growing stronger. Your dad has sent you $3. Dad, $3! This is intentional. It's a feature. It's a feature. Playtest of the entire game the night before the release estimated. We found 70% of them in that 6-hour call. I couldn't help but ask, Papa, where are you? I'm right by your side, Doug. I'm always watching over you. Well, come out then, show yourself.
Big papa pickle, big papa pickle, big papa pickle, big papa pickle.
Yeah, thank you. My papa was quiet for a moment. Then he spoke again. I'll see you someday soon. But, oh no, that is still Doug. I'll see you someday soon, but for now, you'll still have to fight on without your papa's help. I know it's rough, but the future of this world is depending on you. Unless, oh no, is that supposed to be? I think that is supposed to be his dad. And with that, the phone line went dead. I stood there for a short while, still holding the receiver in my hand. Missed that. It's such a small detail. I don't blame you. Let's go shopping. I went up to the second floor of the shopping center and found a familiar and way too spacious sales floor offering various daily necessities. First, I thought I should look at the things that might come in handy the most. Whoa! Okay. Well, can't get that. What do we got? Stun gun? Canary chick. Aren't we gonna need that eventually? Look, you're gonna have to forgive me. I haven't actually played Mother 1. I've only ever like what's that one video where it's like Mother 1 doesn't care? Like that was my exposure to actually anything Mother or Mother 1. Canary chick is important. Yes. Had a feeling. 2 items in the shop are entirely useless, but Monkey insisted. Waste of $4. I guess I can go with the rope. It offers you moral support. I see. Well, I am inclined to buy the rope, but it's not a rope snake. And, you know, everybody needs a rope snake. Let's go with the rope. I'll go ahead and finish up. I will leave the shopping center. Let's go. What's south again? You know what? Let's go to Skid Row. Let's quick save and go to Skid Row. I chose my path, and gradually the cozy homes became fewer and fewer, and they were replaced by warehouses, garages, and dilapidated buildings. We should have gotten rid of the rope. Oh, there were rarely too many people out and about in this neighborhood, even on a regular day. This area was known as Skid Row. It was a place where drifters and hoodlums roamed the streets. Then suddenly a figure appeared before me, stumbling unsteadily as it went. He was definitely human and pretty young too. Had about 20 years old, but once I got a good look at him, I could see his clothes were ragged and torn and his face was covered in mud. His Levi jeans were ripped. Okay, so is this the same fight as before? Suddenly raised both arms to sides and came at me, growling with his eyes open. That's a rough 20. Should I protect myself? Well, fight. And let's use the knife. With an eerie moan, the guy lunged for me. I dodged the guy's attack with a bit of reluctance. I struck his left leg with my knife. Seemed the pain was so intense, brought him back to his senses. What am I doing here? Yep, staggered away. 3 points of experience. I continued walking for a short while, and eventually I came to the heart of Podunk. There were several houses here, and many of the town's residents were out and about. Thankfully, there was a shopping center nearby, too. A short distance away, there was also a particularly dangerous part of Podunk known as Skid Row. Oh, okay. There's a lot of loops and conditional logic. Oh, interesting. Let's try heading south then. I arrived at an intersection on the southern part of Podunk where the interstate highway Route 95 passed through town. Across the road, at the top of the hill covered in overgrown timothy grass, I could see the small bird sanctuary that everyone around here calls Canary Village. The actual name of the place was New Hampshire Canary Center, and the reason it was called the New Hampshire Canary Center, even though it's in Maine, is because the owner, Mr. Winston, is from across state lines. There was also a graveyard nearby called Morningside Cemetery, where I used to go with my good friend Jim and a bunch of other kids to test our courage. Which way should I go? Let's go to Canary Village. I went through a gate that had a sign which read New Hampshire Canary Center. The stretch of land beyond it was surprisingly large, and they didn't call it Canary Village for nothing. Inside several large enclosures covered in fine wire mesh, the small yellow birds were chirping away. Suddenly, from the shadow of a cedar tree across the path, an old man in overalls began to approach me. I was startled at first, but he seemed to be a living human this time. When he got close enough, I recognized him. It was Mr. Winston, the owner.
Little boy, my Laura is so very sad. Do you happen to know anything about her chick?
You do get the experience of money from repeat pals. Oh, okay. So it is like Mother where grinding is needed. Laura? Oh, I see. Maybe that was the name of one of the canaries. Could it possibly be? I showed the old man the canary chick I had bought from the shopping center. The old man took the chick from me gently and...
Oh, yes, this is the one. Follow me, please.
He led me to one of the enclosures. Inside of it was a very beautiful canary. There was a nameplate attached to the wire mesh which read Laura.
Here you go, Laura.
The moment he placed the little chick into the enclosure, the beautiful canary began to sing a song. What a beautiful timbre. Wait, could this be? I would be sure to remember this melody. I thanked the old man, and I left Canary Village. After a short while, I found myself standing in front of the town hall building. The place was as eerily silent as any haunted house, and I could see an American flag out front, swaying listlessly in the feeble breeze. With things as they were, I didn't think anyone would have had time to worry about raising and lowering it properly, so I bet that it had been left to be battered around by the wind both day and night. Not far from Town Hall, a Burger King and a McDonald's stood side by side, but I could see no sign of the usual crowd of cheerful customers eating contently and chatting away inside these windows. Ah, yeah. Dude, there is more product placement in this than there is in Pikmin 2. Jeez. Since when did Podunk become such a ghost town? Where should I go? Let's go north. Oh, we're back here. Whoops. Let's head south again. Yep. Let's go to the graveyard. Morningside Cemetery. I walked through the archway at the entrance and stepped inside. Scattered here and there throughout the spacious cemetery, I could see several plagued gravestones. Or pale gravestones. Oh, save! I could also see that countless numbers of human-sized shadows were moving about in the spaces between them. I couldn't help it. I was frightened. Those things weren't human. Those things wandering around in there were corpses that had risen from the grave. An entire swarm of zombies! You only have like a 50% chance of dying here. And just like proper zombies straight out of any horror movie, they were shuffling around among the gravestones with their arms dangling limply and swaying to and fro. This whole place is giving me the creeps. I entered the grounds of the Morningside Cemetery. Despite the large number of figures shuffling around me, there was complete silence. I couldn't hear a single voice, and the reason for that was pretty unsettling. Everyone here was a zombie. Doing my best to avoid the more crowded areas, I made my way deeper into the cemetery and headed for a wooden building leading down into the underground crypts. The door had been left ajar, and from somewhere inside came a slight scent of mold and the odor of death and decay. I slipped in through the small gap in the door, walked down a narrow corridor, and eventually came to a set of stone stairs leading underground. At the bottom of these stairs, I found a large underground area, a room surrounded by cold stone walls on all four sides, and like something I might expect to find in the basement of Dracula's castle, there were 3 coffins lined up side by side. Oh! Okay. Middle. Very cautiously, I opened the lid of the middle coffin. There was a half-decomposed man lying on his back inside with his eyes closed. His white shirt was stained with mold and the skin of his face was tattered and worn. Suddenly his eyes shot wide open. Whoosh! The corpse sat straight up and reached for me, baring its teeth. Fight! I swiftly dodged the man's hands. Love that Doug is like, yeah, leaving isn't an option. I should just open these coffins. That's my chance. Fight! Pulled out my knife. Would it work on an actual zombie? He continued to come at me with his mouth wide open and his teeth bared. I raised my knife, but hold on. Knives aren't supposed to work against these guys. I thought quickly as I tossed the knife aside. As the zombie tried to get up out of its coffin, I kicked it as hard as I could. With a thud, the zombie fell back into the coffin, and I closed the lid tightly and secured the latch. I could hear the zombie beating on the inside of the lid for a while, but then the crypt fell silent once more. 2 points of experience. The place seemed to be crawling with zombies. I got out of Morningside Cemetery as fast as I could. After a short while, I found myself standing in front of the town hall building. The place was eerily silent as a haunted house, and I could see an American flag out front, swaying listlessly in the feeble breeze. Those things were okay. You forgot to fix the music. Oh, well, all right. Here's the soundtrack for the rest of the run, folks. Let's try. Okay, so if we go south, okay, we're back on this path. Okay. So maybe it'd be best. Oh, okay, leaving town goes this way. Dude, we're still being chased by that fucking zombie, dude. We gotta get out of here. I walked along the interstate highway until I eventually came to a huge river, the Royal River to be exact. Spinning across it was a stone bridge known as the Miskatonic. You'll eventually get to a scenario that resets the music. No, I figured as much. Beyond the nearby hills, I could see another enemy. I could see the towering and imposing Mountie Toy. Eerily black clouds hung down over its summit. I walked over to the bridge, and I could see 2 police cars parked in front of it with their red and blue lights flashing. Several dozen uniformed policemen stood outside of their cars, and they were glaring at me. I tried to speak with one of them. Hey kid, what are you doing wandering around at a time like this? The policeman was holding a large shotgun, and it didn't seem like he planned to go easy on me just because I was a kid. This place is under martial law. Go back home, now! Well, when he put it like that, I had no choice but to turn around and head back into town. If I didn't do something about these cops, I was never going to make it back to the next, or I was never going to make it to the next town over. There we are. Music is queued to change on various pages. I just missed making a change on the cemetery exit. It does change. Yeah. No, I figured as much, yeah. Oh, we're back to Is this technically? I mean, yeah, this is Pollyanna. Began with a strange incident. Oh, this was the town where it all began. But the strange incidents took place that kickstarted this wild journey. And yet, Podunk was still the most beautiful town in all of Maine. The road split up ahead. Let's try going to the south side of town. Because we went north, right? No, that leads us back here. Yep, Canary Village. Let's... I assume if we leave town, we'll just go. We'll go back to where we were. Oh yeah, because there is like still this. Whoa! Don't fuck with the skip button. I forgot about it with Run By. Right, let's go to Skid Row. And yep, another encounter. We still have the knife, right? Thank God, because I read that he threw it away. You know, we didn't talk to Matthew. I just realized. I met Matthew, the owner of Matthew's Fisherman's Supply, out in front of the shop sign. He had been pacing aimlessly near the entrance with a very troubled look on his face. What's wrong? Matthew seemed to notice me for the first time since I got there. Ah, is that Doug? Well, the truth is, a little while ago, the mayor's daughter, little Pippi, apparently went missing in the graveyard. With the world as crazy as it's been lately, I get so worried when I think about what may have happened to her. So worried. Let us know if you need any tips. Well, I appreciate it. I hope I'll be fine. Is that so? Well, where to next? Well, southern part of town. Now let's... Oh, well, actually, we should probably get some more money. Nah, we'll be fine. We'll be fine. We'll be fine. We'll be fine. It's all good. It's all good. Let's go for the farthest coffin. Damn it! Fight using items. Now's my chance. Run. Blade stand straight into the air. Ugh, how horrifying! To stay a panic, I took 1 and 2 steps back. Then I ran back up those stone steps. The zombie came after me, swinging and stumbling, but its speed was no match for mine. I fled from the graveyard in a cold sweat. After a short while, I found myself standing in front of the town hall building. Yep, same as before. Let's go north. Let's... So, we'll go back to Skid Row. We'll get in another fight. And use the gun. The burger has a ghost. He keeps grinding Skid Row. They don't know that I'm grinding Skid Row. Let's go, let's call Dad. Let's ask for money. $11. We have enough for a boomerang. Skid Row guy is called Enemy Skid Man because I haven't matured. We can get the boomerang. What items do we have to sell? The rope. Okay. Asthma spray. Bum bum ba dum bum bum ba dum ba dum. Well, I actually Part of me is thinking maybe we should grind to get the baseball bat, because the baseball bat's probably gonna be better than the knife, right? I don't know. Look at me, man. I'm holding the baseball bat. Baseball bat is very worth. Yeah, let's listen. All I'm saying is, getting the real RPG experience, dude. Every fight that allows you to use is just a strict upgrade. I see. Mother 1. He missed the level. Oh, I did! No! Hold on. History. So this guy saw me. Did I? Oh yeah, I did. Wow. Sorry, I was so like intent on grinding. The man staggered away holding his head. 3 points of experience. No, damn it. There we go. Level 2, maximum HP and PP have gone up to 20, and we can use Brain Shock. Oh. Well, let's try that on John Skid Row. Oh, we can't. Well, let's see how much money we have now. We'll go to the shopping center. We'll call Papa. We'll get some money. $34. We can get the baseball bat. Yay! Peanut butter jelly with the baseball bat. All right, let's go ahead and get that baseball bat. Boom, boom, boom. We have $4 left. Finish shopping. All right. So, as we leave the shopping center, I hate to do this so soon, but folks, I need to run to the bathroom real quick. So I'm gonna go take a quick little bathroom break. When we're back, we're gonna continue playing through this. We're gonna see how far we can get, and yeah, we'll just keep on going. But until then, I will see you guys in a second. Where did my music go? Oh, there it is. All right. See you guys in a couple of minutes. BRB. Who's ready to go back to Skid Row, motherfuckers? Well, we're actually not. We're going to go south. Because we're going to go into the cemetery. So we're in humans. Yep, yep, yep. We'll go further. All right. All right. Go ahead and save here again. Yes. All right. So we picked the closest, we picked the furthest. Let's pick the middle. Very cautiously I opened the lid of the middle coffin. Damn it! Maybe I didn't. Maybe I did pick the middle coffin. Suddenly his eyes shot wide open. Whoosh! Corpse sat straight up and reached for me, baring its teeth. Fight. Oh, we can't fight with the bat? I have already picked the middle coffin. Whoops! Experience. All right. We'll go south again. We'll re-enter. Then which one did I pick? The backseeing of reminding him he's already picked that option. You could also load your save. True. That isn't available. Ah. All right. We'll go ahead. We'll save here. All right. Furthest coffin? No. Load. Oh, yeah, that's right, because I just did this. No, I want to load. There we go. Closest coffin? Suddenly, a little girl leapt out, and she wrapped her arms around me. Surprised, I looked down at her and... Oh, you're little Pippi, aren't you? First player to lose a 1 of 3 4 times. Look. I didn't say I was good at Mother. I just said I love Mother. Wow, I was so scared. There were zombies everywhere, so I had to hide in that coffin. Wow. While trying to calm the sobbing Pippi, I cautiously led her toward the cemetery gates. Somehow we made it through without being noticed by any roaming zombies. Then, once we left the graveyard, I took Pippi by the hand and we ran for the mayor's house. Money Hall showed you both ghosts, and you still picked them twice each. Dude, I was playing, what's it called? 3-card, yeah, I was playing 3-card Monty. They showed me where the queen was after they shuffled them, and I said, I picked the other one.
Well now, how wonderful of you to rescue my daughter. Is there anything I can do for you in return?
The mayor, Mr. Goodman, spoke to me as he sat on his very cozy looking sofa. I knew exactly what I wanted to ask for. Do you think you could tell the cops here in town to let me go anywhere I want?
Oh, of course, of course.
After leaving the mayor's house, I walked slowly down the street for a while. I guess something else must have happened somewhere. Three patrol cars rushed by with their sirens blaring, and a military helicopter whizzed by overhead. Where should I go now? Leave. Walked along the interstate highway until I came to a huge river, the Royal River to be exact. Spanning across it was a stone bridge known as the Miskatonic. Yep, we heard this. Spanning the Royal River just outside of town was the Miskatonic Bridge. As I approached it, I noticed several cops standing guard, each of them holding a gun. I hesitated for a moment, not sure just what I should do, but in the end I walked over to them, trying to look as confident as I could. Startled, the cops turned their shotguns on me, but I guess they'd gotten word from Mayor Goodman, because a moment later, they'd quickly lowered them again.
You're Douglas Holloway, right? Apparently you're allowed to head on through.
Thanks! I grinned at him as he let me by. Then I headed over the bridge. Where should I go? Oh, alright, we'll go ahead and quick save here. Actually, we'll do a normal save. Let's go for the next town. I walked on, leaving the Royal River far behind me, and once I'd finally made it through a small forest of pine trees, I could see a large town up ahead. It was Marysville. My papa and I used to come to the movie theater in this town all the time. I saw Star Wars here, and Indiana Jones, too. I headed into a town and found myself in a plaza that had a fountain. From here, I can get a good look at the place. Things were very different here compared to Podunk. Apparently this town wasn't under martial law, so there were crowds of people bustling about all over. On the other side of the plaza, just beyond some sort of war memorial monument, I could see Marysville Junior High School's tall clock tower. Right next to the movie theater was a hotel. On the outskirts of town was Union Station, a stop along Paradise Line. Where should I go? Let's head for the school. I headed toward Marysville Junior High School. I entered through the main gate and continued across the schoolyard, where several students were playing basketball. Everything seemed so peaceful here. It was like all the strange and awful things that had been going on lately had been nothing but a bad dream. The school was built out of concrete. It was 3 stories tall. Just as I walked inside, the bell rang for recess. Kids came flying out of their classrooms, left and right. They all seemed so happy and carefree. I felt kind of jealous. What business do I have here? Let's enter one of the classrooms. I wonder why we would go to the roof. I entered one of the classrooms, but since it was recess, nearly all the students were off somewhere else playing. The only ones left were 2 girls sitting all the way in the back row and chatting away. One of the girls had a round face and was wearing glasses. The other girl was covered in freckles and had smooth, silver blonde hair that fell to about her shoulders. Which one should I talk to? Glasses. I tried to strike up a conversation with the girl wearing glasses, then for a moment she just sat there and stared at me blankly, but shortly after she just smiled at me and said, "Hey, you're Danny from Class A, aren't you? Have you been to the Live House in LA? It's really wild over there." Huh? What do you mean it's wild? I mean, just what I said. It's really wild. You should try going there sometime. You'll be really surprised. In the end, I couldn't really follow the conversation, so I left the classroom. Well, that was confusing. I thought to myself as I walked through the school hallway, where should I go now? The science lab. No! I'm with the science team! At the end of the hallway, there was a science lab. I went in and I found 3 male students sitting on top of their desks. All 3 of them were pretty big, and they were wearing leather jackets, jeans, and chains. They also wore rather shifty expressions, and looked like the kind of delinquents who hung around the bars and pool halls in the shadier parts of town. Then one with a blonde crew cut spoke up. "Yo, kid, you seen a little brat with glasses around? I mean that sissy Lloyd. If you see him, give him a message for us. We're gonna find him, and we're gonna pound him." I nodded, and I left the science lab. With that, I left Marysville Junior High School. Well, hold the phone. Finally, I made it to the town's main road. From there, I could see the Union Station wasn't too far away. The hotel was pretty close by, too. To my right was the Marysville School. To my left, I could see the Interstate Turnpike. However, there was an electric sign above the roadway leading south the mountains, into the mountains, which read "Danger ahead, entry prohibited." Asked where to find a sissy. He's saying he wants to What did Itoi mean by this? I know this wasn't written by Itoi, but, well, what purpose do we have going to the roof? In order to get to the roof, I had to make it up 3 flights of stairs. When I finally got all the way up to the top, I was pretty out of breath, so I hurriedly put my inhaler in my mouth and breathed in that soothing mist. However, the door to the roof had a note on it which read, "Authorized personnel only." Damn, it was off limits. I guess there wasn't much I could do, so I made my way back down all those stairs. Damn. Well, we could talk to the silver blonde hair. The girl with silver blonde hair looked at me and smiled. "Hi, I'm Cindy. I haven't seen you around. Are you from Class C next door?" I decided to lie to see what she'd tell me. Well then, do you know a boy named Lloyd? He wears glasses and is kind of a dork. He borrowed a French book from me and never gave it back. I wonder if he's up on the roof again, where he knows no one's allowed to go. Oh, well, I don't know him. After I said that, the 2 girls went back to their excited chatter. I didn't know what else to do, so I left the room. Well, that was confusing, I thought to myself. Maybe we can head for the roof now? Yep, I headed for the door. I ignored the sign which read "Authorized personnel only," and I opened the door. There on the roof was a large trash can, and for some reason, it appeared to be trembling. Is someone there? Then from the trash can came a voice. "Leave me alone!" Why the heck are you in the garbage? Because I'm Lloyd Schneider, that's why. Everyone in the whole school picks on me. I wish I had been born as just about anyone else. Hearing this, I couldn't help but feel kind of sorry for him. You should try to have more pride in yourself, Lloyd. The trash can was silent for a while, but eventually Lloyd spoke up again. Do you have pride in yourself? Of course I do. And show me proof. In the southern part of town, there's a place called Sweet's Little Factory. If you bring me some of the bottle rockets they make there, then maybe I'll believe what you say. All right, you want bottle rockets, right? After a pause, the voice in the trash can spoke again. You're really gonna go? No one's ever gone over there and come back. Don't you know about all the weird things that have been going on lately? Yeah, I know about that, actually. Just you wait, Lloyd, because I'm definitely coming back, I vowed silently as I made my way back down the stairs. With that, I left Marysville Junior High School. Right, well, if we need to go south, then that's where we need to go. Well, we can also head to the hotel. The hotel was 5 stories high. I went in and I could see an old man behind the counter, leaning back in his chair and reading an issue of Life magazine. I'd like to stay the night. Spoke without even looking up from his magazine.
It's $30 a night, free breakfast in the morning.
And we take payment up front. But unfortunately, I didn't have $30. I was just thinking about what a fix I was in when suddenly realized the old man looked up at me.
If you haven't got any money, you can always put in some work. If you're up for it, you can help clean the dishes in the cafeteria downstairs.
Yeah, we don't really need it right now. I don't think it was a good idea to make a part-time job at a time like this. And so, I gave up on staying the night at this hotel. Finally made it to the road. Yep, alright. Bear with me. If we leave town... No, because then we go back towards Podunk. I came to a lonely road that cut through a forest. Suddenly, from the leafy branches ahead of me, I heard the sound of flapping wings, and some black thing shot from one side of the road to the other. Huh? I thought just as I did. A giant bat suddenly swooped down at me from above. Kiki! It screeched in an eerie voice as it swooped at me. How should I defend myself? By using items. You may really want to stay at the hotel. Your pee-pee starts... Oh, okay. Pulled out my knife and got ready for a fight. Suddenly, the bat made a weird face. I could read its thoughts using telepathy.
What the? Hey, how did I end up in a situation like this?
Seemed that Mr. Batty here was sizing up the situation. Maybe I could use telepathy to persuade it. Using my telepathy, I projected my thoughts and spoke. Mr. Batty! You're not where you want to be in life, are you? It's not too late. Maybe you should reconsider some of your life choices. Then, Mr. Batty replied telepathically.
You really think so? You might be right. I don't think my life has been going the way it should lately. Yeah, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna go back to square one and figure all this out.
And so, with a few loud flaps of his wings, Mr. Batty flew off somewhere deeper into the forest. Gained 5 points of experience. Alright then, time to get back to Podunk. Okay, no, not where I wanted to be. Not where I'd like to be. I want to be in the next town. Visit home? I'm making all the wrong moves, man. Let's go ahead and actually, we'll go ahead and, whoops. Go ahead and clean dishes. And so I got a part-time job cleaning dishes. And I used $30 I earned and stayed the night at the hotel. But somehow I was still pretty tired. The next morning I had some breakfast, and I left the hotel. Alright. Let's see. I could go towards the mountains. We could leave town, or we can head for the station. I'm gonna presume that the station might be the right way to go. I walked straight down the town's main road. The street was lined with elm trees on both sides. Eventually, I found myself at Union Station. The building was made of red brick. Bullshit, it's made of gray! Well, I made it to the station, but the place was in a bit of a panic. The waiting area was overflowing with would-be passengers who were making a fuss about the fact that the train hadn't departed yet. I happened to overhear the station worker's explanation that there had been a landslide on the nearby mountain which was blocking the tracks ahead. The rocks were so large that they wouldn't budge no matter how many bulldozers and excavator machines they tried to use. Having second thoughts about boarding the train, I decided to leave the station. Nice sip of drink. We can head for the mountains. Sorry, I'm very fucking. If any of you have seen my my Mother 3 playthrough, you know any opportunity I get to save, I will save. Let's go for. You know what? Good idea to visit home. Then we can come back here and then take the road to the mountains. So let's go ahead and do that. Another bat fight. Okay. Fight using PSI. I concentrated my thoughts. I aimed a powerful psychic energy blast right for my opponent's brain with a technique called Brain Shock. In an instant, the bat was freed from the influence of any dark powers, and it began to shrink until it was the size of a regular bat again. It flapped around my head for a short while as if it was apologizing for its rude behavior, then it flew off into the night. You lost 20. That was 20 PP! Whoa! I thought that would be like 1! Or no, maybe not 1, but goddamn. Holy hell. All right, we'll make a visit home. I entered my front yard, and Mick, who had been sprawled out lazily in front of his doghouse, ran up to me, barking and wagging his tail joyfully. And I guess my sisters, Minnie and Mimi, heard all the racket, because they opened the front door and then flew outside to greet me. Big brother! Still hugging them tight, I went inside, and there was my mama waiting for me. Oh, Doug, welcome home. Using PSI usually uses PP in increments of 10. Ah, yeah, wow. Is that how it is in Mother 1? Like, is that how it is in the game? That's insane. I was very happy to be able to see my mama and sisters again. That night, we had my favorite, hamburgers. I ate myself silly and slept soundly until the next morning. Hey, there we go. Pollyanna, I'm as crazy as a loon. There's truly no place like home. Well, I can't sit around being sentimental all day. Time to head out. Let's head for the south side of town. Morning sun, always gonna shine again. And I believe in it. Let's head for the mountain. I left Podunk and I headed straight for the path leading toward Mountain Toy. However, from the moment I chose this route, I found nothing but trouble. After getting lost and wandering down many confusing pathways, I somehow ended back at the Miskatonic Bridge again. With my shoulders heaving as I panted, I brought my inhaler to my mouth and breathed the soothing mist. Jeez, what a mess. Where to now? Well, let's head to the next town then. Well, hold on. Because if Lloyd wants the bottle rockets... Okay, hold on. Now I gotta... Hold on. We'll head for the school again. I feel like there's an option I missed in the school, maybe? Oh, okay. It's still gonna give me the off-limit stuff. Alright, hold on. Let's try the silver blonde hair. Lloyd. Science lab. Yep, they're talking about how Lloyd's a sissy. Mountains of red danger, entry prohibited. Let's try the road to the mountains. The 4-lane interstate highway was totally deserted. Not a single car drove past. According to a sign overhead, the road would split in 2 miles. The left fork led to Augusta, the state capital, and the one to the right branched off and became Jointner Avenue, which continued on toward Cumberland and Jerusalem's Lot. Jerusalem's Lot? What a creepy name. I passed under a blinking signal light and continued to walk down the silent, vacant roadway. Then suddenly I noticed something sparkle against the clear blue sky up ahead of me. I tried to get a better look. I could see a flying saucer about the size of a football. This seems bad. It grazed the very top of a streetlight at about 100 yards ahead of as it came flying right toward me. Was it another one of Earth's enemies? The ones causing all these mysterious incidents lately? I braced myself for a fight. How should I fight this thing? Items? From the looks of this disc-shaped floating object, I couldn't imagine that this thing was anything other than one of those flying saucers you always heard about coming from outer space. This one seemed to be a miniature model, so I think I'll call it a little saucer. This fight stumped me for a while. Uh-oh. Quick save. I also think I should. Knife! Do I really think I stand a chance using a knife against such a powerful flying enemy? And suddenly the little saucer fired some sort of green-colored beam, hit me dead on. I didn't even have time to scream as it sent me flying and slammed me into the asphalt. I was careless. I slowly began to lose consciousness. Everything faded to black. No! Your quest ends here! No! Damn. Alright, well, thankfully, we did save here. Okay. Because the only other place we can go to the station, but it's a mess over there. If we go to the mountains, we're going to get caught by the UFO. If we leave town, the only other place we can go is Podunk. If we go to the school, there's not really much we can do there. This game is very item-based. I recommend searching the shopping centers. That's what I was thinking. So let's go back to Podunk. Let's do another fight with the bat. Yeah, we'll go for the, how do I end up in a situation like this? Thankfully, there's no RPG or like RNG elements when it comes to, the fights, like an actual mother. The items are the meta. That makes sense. I really have to remember this was not made as a visual novel. This is a book. This is a book. Let's go to the shopping center. Very late in our bug checking, Monkey said he was surprised at how short the ending was. And I was like, didn't I ask you to remove the end from the last text box? It took 10 minutes for me to piece together that he died on the final boss and thought he beat the game? What? Wait, but how do you think? What? Thank you for skipping through the text. Anyway, let's call Dad. You know, we haven't actually, picked the speak with your father part. I couldn't help but ask. Where? Oh, okay, it's just this. Okay. So. We'll leave and come back. Oh, well, you know what? A quick fight on Skid Row never hurt anybody. Oh, we can use the bat here. I was like, before it said the end, did it say something about how Gigu won and all that? He was like, oh, what? Use the bat. I pulled the baseball bat from behind my bat and braced myself for a fight. All right, come get me. Then the man suddenly dashed me, howling bizarrely the whole time. Crack, crack. For a moment, stars flickered before the man's eyes, or at least that's how it seemed to me. The crazed man held his head where my bat had struck him. Took a few tottering steps back and landed on his backside with a thud. Huh? What was I just doing? As he came to his senses, he looked up at me with a terribly confused expression. Then he shakily got to his feet and shuffled away. Gained 2 points. He just fucking cracked that man's skull open. Jesus. All right, back to the shopping center. Back on the first floor. We're going to ask Dad for money. $14. $18. Oh, we're going to have to do a lot of grinding, aren't we? Well, what else can we get? Hold on. Let's go to the shopping center. It also just occurred to me we didn't have to leave. Oh, we're gonna need aren't we? That's an expensive stun gun. Actually, I mean, I guess all things considered, that's not an expensive stun gun. That's an expensive item, but not an expensive stun gun. Huh. Trying to think what is the best enemy we can grind. We'll finish shopping and we'll leave, because it's definitely not John Skid Row. He's not really the meta here, is he? Would it be the zombies? You were heading in the right direction with the little saucer. Please let me know if you don't want me. Oh no, I beg. I'm not good. No, I knew I was heading in the right direction. Did I just get, like, bad RNG, or I need an item to beat the little saucer, don't I? I'm presuming I need maybe the slingshot, or maybe the air gun. Because I feel like, I can beat the saucer, or be level 3. Okay, I'm gonna go back into the cemetery. I'm gonna see about if we can, it isn't an inexpensive one. Okay, so it's gonna be one of the pricier ones. All right. It's not PSI. It's just straight up an item. What's gonna happen if we pick the first one? Oh, okay, we can't. There's no PSI option. Yeah, fair enough. Right, let's try fighting another zombie. We'll fight with items. Can we fight with the bat? No, we can fight with the knife. No, 2 points of experience. Trying to think, like, what would be the best enemy to grind? Because what are our options, really? Our options are the zombie, the Skid Row guy. It's not an expensive item. Oh, so we can probably go back into Podunk and get it then. Hold on. Well, if we head for the mountain, we can head back to Podunk really easily. North side of town. Let me check out the item shop again. We have the rope. Is it the boomerang? But that would make sense. That would make sense. How much money do I have? Hold on. It's a 50-50 chance you don't have an expensive item. $20. Dude, we got just enough. Just enough for the boomerang. Boom, baby. Higuchi loved his pseudo RNG mechanics. There's a chance you just need a more expensive item. That's so funny. I can't believe that man put RNG in his book. I can't even escape bullshit RPG elements when I'm not playing an RPG. Alright, now we'll save again. I believe in roses kissed with dew. Why shouldn't I believe? Aw. Alright, so we'll go ahead. Ah, the saucer! Items, the boomerang. Suddenly, the saucer fired some sort of green-colored beam. The beam just grazed the top of my head, missing me by a hair, and blasted a huge hole in the asphalt behind me. If it had hit me, I'd been dead for sure. I aimed at the incoming enemy and hurled my boomerang with all my might. A direct hit. The boomerang slammed into the saucer, and with a clank, it veered off course and then finally crashed right into the pavement. Excuse me. I ran over to it. The wreckage from the saucer lay in pieces scattered across the asphalt, with my boomerang right beside it. Gained 6 points. Whoa, that's huge! This foe was a bit more fragile than I expected. I picked up my boomerang and headed down the road again. I headed up the road and lined up. Oh, Radica! Thanks so much for the rate of 9. How are you? Radica, I can only presume what it was tonight. How was Shadow the Hedgehog? Folks, for those of you who don't know me, my name is LoppearLink. I'm a variety PNG tuber. I play a bunch of games, usually silly little Nintendo games, and tonight we are playing Mother, Invasion from the Unknown. This is a visual novel that is adapted from a real Mother choose-your-own-adventure book based off of Mother 1, and we actually have 2 developers here in chat. Malfasura and Monkey Ness are actually 2 of the 2 members of the dev team here. So, very, very honored to have them here. He even said my name right. Yay, I did it. I did a very good. I headed up the road along the exit ramp, and then at last, I could see a white building that looked like a factory just beyond the sweet-smelling field where the scent of blackberries hung heavy in the air. I couldn't make out the name of the factory. This seemed like a very secretive place. Whoops! Oh, I forgot I could scroll. I probably shouldn't be here. Ah, who's gonna care? Quick save. Who's gonna care? Monkey is the project's director. I was the programmer on the project, so the bugs are mine. Hey, it's everyone's bugs. Your bugs, Monkey's bugs, the Yarsh's bugs, RK's bugs, Nyasu's bugs, everybody. Every buggy. Lofty, hello. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna have a sip of water instead of soda. There are Nyasu bugs. I made my way through the overgrown blackberry brambles, and then I found myself in front of the factory. The gray concrete walls were covered in cracks and fissures, and some kind of ivy was creeping thickly up to the windows of the 3rd floor. She left 2 pretty embarrassing typos in the script that got caught. I guess that is a bug, yeah. The windows were covered by rusted iron bars, and there was a security camera aimed right above the metal entrance door. I pushed against the metal door and it opened. I could see that inside was hazy and dark. Still, as my eyes adjusted to the darkness, I could faintly make out the hallway ahead. At the end of it, there were stairs leading up to the next floor. I slipped in through the open door and began to walk down the passageway. I reached the end of the hallway and took the stairs to the 2nd floor. Was this factory abandoned? I got the sense that there wasn't a single person here. But the weird thing was, whenever I peeked into a room here or there, it looked as though someone had been in it up until very recently. Save! Save! Saving! I'm saving, Ness! I'm saving, Monkey! There were half-finished cups of coffee sitting out on tables, computer terminals that had been left running, and a book that had been left open and lying face down. It made me feel kind of sad. It was something by F. Scott Fitzgerald, and it happened to be my papa's favorite book. What? Just then, a sound suddenly came from the ceiling above. No, it wasn't from the ceiling. It came from the 3rd floor. It was a resounding stomping sound, like some big heavy thing was walking around. As soon as I heard it, I ran out into the hallway, and just as I did, I came face to face with something terrifying. It was a robot. Its head was shaped like a cone, and it had 1 bright glowing eye, and its arms and legs had several joints each. What was this most surprising to me was the fact that this robot had an American flag emblem on its chest. What was this? With a loud whir, the robot lunged for me. This robot's gonna kill me. What should I do? Fight with items. Doug's dad's favorite book is The Great Gatsby. The robot rushed to me. I took a step back into the room I had just left. I gotta dismantle this killer robot before it gets me. Now I see why he said save. I'm gonna save. Use the bat. Would it even work against a robot? I reached into my backpack and pulled out my aluminum bat. I swung it as hard as I could and nailed the approaching robot right on its tiny head. Crack! And what do you know? The robot teetered for a moment, and then with an incredibly loud crash, it fell over backwards and collapsed onto the floor. I guess its head was its weak spot. You gained 5 points of experience. Yay! You reached level 3. Yay! Yes, PK Beam! I put my inhaler to my lips and breathed in a puff of mist. Oh god, is that going to be a mechanic? Because I saw the inhaler was an item. Down at my feet lay the robot, and there on its chest was the emblem of an American flag. I began to wonder if this was a secret laboratory run by an organization working with the government. I wondered if some unknown enemy had attacked this lab and abducted all the researchers. Is used for exactly one encounter? That's great. Excuse me, Christ. I climbed up to the top floor and looked around, but I couldn't find much of anything. What should I do now? Meet with Lloyd. Making great progress. I am curious, if you don't mind me asking, how long is this? Is this all of Mother? Or is this kind of condensed? Because I know Choose Your Own Adventure books, if you take the right pathways, aren't too long. But like, for a casual playthrough. So the condensed version, 5 melodies instead of 8. Okay. But it's a fair length. Okay. So we're probably not going to finish this tonight. I'm going to go as long as I can, but we're probably not going to finish this tonight. I will say, very much enjoying this. If nothing else, if we don't finish this tonight, I am happy to come back to this. Which is really funny because I just realized that means I'm going to be doing 2 Mother playthroughs side by side. Good stopping point is when you first enter Magic Can. Ooh, I forgot about Magic Can. Oh, do I even ask this? I'm going to ask it, but don't tell me. Is there art of Queen Mary? Because there's not enough art of Mary. Don't tell me, but I'm just putting it out there. Please. No, don't sad face me. Oh, it's fine if not. We just need more art of Queen Mary. That's all I'm going to say. Anyway, we'll go ahead and meet with Lloyd. I was just about to give up and go back down the stairs when I noticed a small red button on the concrete wall nearby. I tried pressing it and a large square section of the wall beside me opened up. I peeked inside and beyond it there was a narrow hidden room. On top of a steel shelf there were several thin, long, white pencil-sized objects propped up in rows. They were bottle rockets. Lloyd, I finally found what you were looking for. I left the factory, then I returned to Marysville. Finally, I made it to the town's main road. From there, I could see that Union Station wasn't too far away. The hotel was pretty close by, too. To my right was the Marysville School. To my left, yep, the Interstate Turnpike. Woohoo! All right, we'll go ahead and head up to the roof. Oh, whoops. I entered through the main gate and continued across the schoolyard. Several students were playing. Oh, okay. I entered Marysville Junior High and headed straight for the roof. At the top of the stairs, I ignored the entry prohibited sign and opened the door. And then I saw Lloyd lying on the ground beside the trash can. Hey, what happened? I hurried over to him. Apparently, he had been beaten unconscious. He had blue bruises around his eyes. I tapped him lightly on the cheeks, and he came to.
It was those guys who are always coming after me. They finally found me, and, well, here I am. So, can't you just leave me alone?
Also, interesting design for Lloyd. Interesting design for Lloyd coming from the book, obviously translated for the visual novel. It's bizarre because he has white hair, but then also I think of the commercial for Mother 1, the live action commercial, and didn't he have brown hair there too? Because, hold on, Mother 1 commercial. Yeah, because they couldn't really find a kid with, like, white hair. We're planning on expanding a lot of this in future updates. Art for all the characters more expressive. Yeah, I mean, what? This just came out yesterday? Clip Truth, thanks so much for the follow. Welcome. A bug we found in the big test playthrough was after the factory. It wouldn't let you go back until... Well, that's it. I'm pretty convinced there must have been an earlier design for Lloyd with brown hair. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, also, the Famicom had such a limited color palette, right? It's just so interesting to me. Like, Nintendo, or Doug, I guess, has had how many designs? Like, there's the design in the manuals. There's the design for the spray. There's the design for the commercial. There's the design for this. I mean, it's so interesting to me that Toy, Ape, whoever, never landed on a design. Don't even get me started on Lloyd. Lloyd, I don't think, has ever looked the same. But then Anna looks consistent. I had to make the cheat menu accessible to the pause screen so Monkey can force his way through the logic senses. That's Renpai for you. I found myself feeling sorry for him again. You can't just give up.
You have no idea what it feels like.
I pulled the small pencil-sized rockets out of my backpack. As soon as Lloyd saw them, he cried out in surprise.
Those are real bottle rockets.
They are. I got them in Sweet's little factory. Lloyd took them into his hands and stared down at them. Listen to me, Lloyd. Don't you think there's even just a tiny bit of courage in you somewhere? You're kind of like the lion in The Wizard of Oz. I think even you can be brave with just a little magic. We really appreciate this, by the way. We're gonna make a big patch in the near future to fix anything. Well, I'm glad I'm able to find some stuff that's a little, you know. I'm glad if I do find stuff that's a little, you know, maybe not supposed to be in this. Again, I gotta praise you guys because this is incredible. Monkey Nest, thank you so much for following. Wow, no way. I'm just fixing everything you find. Dude, I can't believe it. I got to live out my dream of being a playtester for a mother game.
Even me?
Lloyd looked a bit stunned. Then he slowly got to his feet.
I think I could be brave. I can try anyway. You seem to be a lot like me somehow. And for some reason, I feel like you and I were always meant to be friends.
Well, I have to be on my way anyway. I have to be on my way now. So, Lloyd, I guess this is goodbye.
Couldn't I come with you? I want to try and be brave too.
I was surprised by his words. I never imagined I'd even hear him say something like that. But it'll be dangerous. You might even be killed.
It's okay. I'm coming with you.
And, well, that's how I became friends with Lloyd Schneider. We shook hands, and we set off together. To my surprise, Lloyd said he wanted to go back to that factory with me. The Paradise Railway was being blocked off by a huge boulder. If you want to get it... Oh, sorry, that's Lloyd.
The Paradise Railway has been blocked off by a huge boulder. If we want to get it up and running again, we'll have to shoot off a missile and blow the boulder to pieces.
I didn't see any missiles there.
Don't worry about it.
He kept walking at a fast and steady pace. We crossed at a shallow section of the creek, following a shortcut to the factory. We cut across the field of blackberries and finally entered that pale and gloomy concrete building. Just be careful, there are some pretty weird robots wandering around in here. As I spoke, my voice echoed down the dark passageway.
Apparently, this place used to be a secret weapons manufacturing plant for the military. Those robots are probably guard bots. I wonder if they're being manipulated by that strange power you mentioned before.
Just as we reached the second floor and began heading for the third, we heard loud, stomping footsteps from overhead. Excuse me. We heard loud, stomping footsteps from overhead. I looked up, and I saw that it was the same kind of robot as before. Only this time, there were several dozen of them, and they were all making their way quickly down the stairs. They're blocking the way we need to go. No question.
Just leave this to me.
Lloyd's voice shook, but he spoke clearly. We ducked through a nearby door marked Security Control Room. The robots followed close behind. Lloyd examined several complicated-looking machines lined up against the wall. Then, as if he'd suddenly figured it all out, he grabbed one of them and started pressing some of the numerous buttons it was covered in. Conditioning this game does to make you save. Listen, man, fucking points at the sign, man. I'm so fucking scared. But those robots were steadily closing in on us.
It's no good. I found the device that controls the robots, but I can't figure out how it works.
Suddenly, one of the robots grabbed me in its arms. It squeezed my body with a terrifying superhuman strength. Lloyd, help me! Lloyd sobbed as he continued pressing buttons on the device. And finally, he turned to me with a look of despair.
Doug, I can't figure it out. I'm no good. No good for anything after all.
Don't give up! Lloyd, be brave! Just as I said this, an intense and powerful burst of light shot from Lloyd's body. Instantly, I felt the strength drain from the robot's arms as it released its grip on me. I turned around. To my surprise, all the robots were standing stock still, looking just like statues. Lloyd, you really were meant to be my friend after all. You have powers just like I do. Gain 8 points of experience. Yeah, go Lloyd! Go Lloyd! Fucking love Lloyd, man. Fucking love this nerd. When I started work on this, Monkey was worried that there wouldn't be enough save slots, but I think the 10,000 pages of save slots. After defeating the robots, we headed up the stairs. Since it had all happened so suddenly, Lloyd still didn't quite believe in his own powers. But I was sure of what I had seen. There could be no mistaking it. Lloyd Schneider was one of the two friends my great-grandpa had written about in his diary. Lloyd might go, Lloyd the Goat! Lloyd the Goat! Finally, we made it up to the top floor. With incredible ease, Lloyd found a button hidden along the wall, which I hadn't noticed when I had been here earlier, and when he pressed it. What a surprise! There's a loud sound from some sort of motor, and a door opened up. Blech, sorry. I think I'm getting so excited like as I'm reading this that I'm reading, but I'm not speaking as fast as I'm reading. Beyond it, there was a huge silo meant for launching missiles. And right in the middle of a very spacious room, there was a sharp and pointed missile, standing tall and pointed straight at the domed roof above. Holy stays, yeah. Lloyd brought me into a smaller room off to the side, the control room for missile launches, and when he flipped the switch on a computer, something appeared on the screen. It was that large group of boulders that were completely blocking the Railway of Paradise line. On the many monitors lined up beside the computer, countless incomprehensible numbers scrolled by in endless columns.
I'm setting the target for the missiles now.
Lloyd hurriedly banged away at the keyboard.
All right, let's start the countdown.
The computer began to count backwards. Sorry, I'm just gonna... There we go. The computer began to count backwards in a robotic voice as we watched the thick glass of the silo's dome ceiling slowly open up. Beyond it was nothing but blue sky. The countdown came to an end, and the missile began to lift off, trailing thick white smoke and bursts of flickering flame behind it. The deafening roar began to fade, and we turned our eyes to the monitors. The missile tore through the air at an incredible speed and hit the boulder's dead center. There was a terrible explosion. When the wind finally cleared away all the dust and smoke, we could see that the boulders had been blown to pieces. We did it! We shook hands joyously. Then we looked at one another. Well then, Lloyd, let's head out. Let's meet up at the mountains near Podunk. After that, I'm heading off into the unknown. Lloyd nodded with conviction.
And I'm coming with you.
We returned to Marysville, and we temporarily parted ways. I hope to see you again soon, Lloyd. Forgive me. I read it, but I didn't comprehend it. Let's meet up in the mountains near Podunk. After that, I'm heading off into the unknown. Okay, so if we head to the mountains... Listen, I suffer from something called stupid. Yeah, because we should go for the mountains, right? Oh, no, because this is just going to be the... Oops. Well, more EXP, bitches. Instead of heading to the factory, I continued down the road, but even though I kept walking and walking, there was nothing out here. I should probably head back to Marysville, I thought. I turned around and headed back the other way. You know what? I didn't make a mistake. When I got back to the area where the shattered remains of the little saucer lay across the pavement, I left the road, crossed through the shallows of the small creek, and took a shortcut back into town. The gist is now Lloyd will go to the mountains near Podunk and Paradise Line is now open so you can look for Anna now. That's what I figured. I entered the station and went over to the gate, where there was a sign which read, as of X month the next day, the Paradise Line has resumed operation. We're terribly sorry for any inconvenience caused by the lengthy gap in service. The station master. I headed for the ticket counter and looked over the fares. To reindeer, $1. To Spookane, $20. To snowman, $30. Do I want to go somewhere? Yes. You can't afford the fare! Having second thoughts about boarding the train, I decided to leave the station. Scheisse. Then we should go to Podunk then. Yep, flip that. A reindeer's $10. Ah. Let's go ahead and we'll go to the north side of town. We'll go to the shopping center. How much money do I even have? $30. I feel like, okay, aside from Buy Something, Won't Ya? The only other songs from Mother One that I really love are, New Age Retro Hippie and, honestly, the Gigu fight song. And I'm not even talking about the dum 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 banana. I'm talking about that creepy ass, like, fucking high pitched warbling. Oh, it's so creepy. I love it. Do we have anything to sell for $20 that I'd feel comfortable for selling? No, we don't. I don't want to sell anything. All right, we'll go south. We'll head back into town. And we'll leave town. And we'll go to the next town over. Actually, we could have headed for the... No, because that wouldn't have changed anything. Excuse me. So, I presume we want to go to Reindeer? Oh, shit. Again, this is a moment where I haven't played Mother, so... Sorry, I'm just responding to a DM real quick. It's that typo. I think I need to go to Reindeer. It says $10 when you're leaving Reindeer. Yeah, no. I'm gonna presume, considering it's the cheapest option, that's probably where we're supposed to go. That being said, I stepped through the gate and onto the platform, and I could see an approaching express train, distorted by heat haze and headed right down the tracks. It stopped neatly at the platform, and then a large crowd of passengers suddenly exited. I stepped aboard the train, and I sat down in a seat next to the window. There was a loud, long whistle, and with a lurch, the train rattled into motion. The Paradise Express was on its way at last. After leaving Union Station, the train steadily began to pick up speed. As I watched the scenery fly by through the window, I thought about what might happen from here on out. The train climbed mountains, crossed over rivers, and plunged into tunnels until at last it began to slow down again. We were approaching Reindeer. Salem, thank you for the raid of 14. How are you? Welcome, Raiders. My name is LoppearLink. I'm a variety PNG where I play a bunch of games, usually silly little Nintendo games. Tonight, we are playing a visual novel called Mother, Invasion from the Unknown. This is a visual novel based off of a choose-your-own-adventure book released in the 80s or 90s, based off of Mother 1, only released in Japan. And we actually have some devs here in chat. So, it's very fucking sick. But how was the randomizer, Salem?
Do you still not have a sword?
Tired? Oh, you poor thing. Well, folks are crumbing in. If you want to stick around, you want to chill out, you're always welcome to, but if you need to raid and run, that is perfectly fine too. The train climbed the mountains, crossed over rivers, and plunged into tunnels until at last it began to slow down again. We were approaching Reindeer. I got it. Never mind. I love this song. I forgot about this song too. This song's up there. I got out onto the platform at Reindeer and hastily made my way through the gate. What should I do first? Let's talk to people. 75 of the stream was dead ends and there was immense progress all at once. Hell yeah. There were 3 people on the bench in the waiting area. One was a young boy wearing a Cincinnati Reds baseball cap. Another was a middle-aged man reading a copy of the Sunday Telegram. The third was an old woman who was hard at work knitting at something or other. Who should I talk to? The boy. Hey, do you know anything about the strange things that have been going on around here lately? The boy nodded.
I know that you shouldn't try to go to Spookane. I heard it's full of zombies and ghosts and stuff. They said that once you enter the mansion on Lakeside Hill, you won't make it back out alive.
Classic Mother gameplay, talking to people. I mean, listen, you'll get some funny dialogue. As I left the station, you get to talk to one guy? I was like, all right, well, I'll go ahead and be, I'll talk to the kid and the lady and the guy. No, okay. As I left the station at Reindeer, the towering summit of Mount Toy could be seen clearly in the distance. The sight of those strange black clouds covering the very peak of the mountain filled me with a sense of dread. Catch you later, Salem. He was talking to the right NPC. It's over for him. No! All these strange incidents began as soon as the eerie black clouds appeared. It was a bit of a walk from the station to the town of Reindeer. And so, I headed down a deserted street through the suburbs. Suddenly I heard an extremely loud honking sound from behind me. That's a bug, we'll fix that. God damn it. You guys, I can't with all these bugs. I can't. I turned to look right across from a sign which read, "Danger, don't go out alone." I saw a huge 18-wheeler truck barreling right for me, trailer and all. That's really funny. That's Ekio's bug, not ours. That must be a Mac brand truck, I thought, but suddenly I noticed something else. There was no one in the driver's seat, and the truck was heading right for me. You try and escape, I guess. The thing's gonna run me over if I don't do something. The truck came flying at me with a deafening roar. I managed to dodge swiftly, but the thing blasted out an overpowering cloud of exhaust. I began coughing violently, and I was overtaken by a fit of asthma. In a panic, I put my inhaler in my lips and breathed deeply, but it wasn't doing much good. Meanwhile, that truck had done a full U-turn and was heading back my way. Coughing fit wasn't going to subside anytime soon. I desperately fought for breath as I fell to my hands and knees, and still that merciless truck was closing in on me. I was in trouble. I managed to dodge the truck as it bore down on me, its engine roaring fiercely. But this time I jumped onto the cab. I crawled in through the open passenger window and slid into the driver's seat. The steering wheel was huge and moved around all on its own. I grabbed it, but I couldn't control the thing at all. I didn't know what else to do, so I dove beneath the dashboard. I kicked off the panel door and started tearing at the mess of countless wires underneath. Just as I thought, once its power had been cut off, the truck had no choice but to give up. As I slowly came to a stop, I stepped out of it and sighed in relief. 4 points of experience! Motherfucker, I did what Des could never do, driving in my car right after a beer, and I get 4 EXP points! Damn it, Itoi. The town of Reindeer was small, but it had a decent enough shopping center and a hotel. The hotel was 12 whole stories tall and had a very fancy name too, the Atlantic Hotel. Across from it was the shopping center, which had 2 floors. The Reindeer Mall, as it was called, was a huge building which had burned down in a fire about 2 years ago and had just recently been fully rebuilt. Where should I go? Let's go to the shopping center. The parking lot in front of the Reindeer Mall shopping center was packed with cars. I went in through the main entrance and spotted a National Western Bank ATM off in the corner. Let's go for the ATM. There was a payphone right next to the ATM machine. I hurriedly picked up the receiver and prayed that I would be able to get through to my papa. Soon enough, his warm, familiar voice came through the speaker. "Is that you, Doug? How have you been?" "Papa!" I couldn't keep the tears from clouding my eyes. "Let's ask for money." $4! Made sure to thank my papa.
Well, Doug, you know I love you very much, don't you?
And with that, the phone's connection cut out. I thanked him once more under my breath, and I went to the ATM and withdrew some cash. Let's go to the second floor. The Reindeer Mall was huge. I wandered through the shops on the second floor looking for anything that might be useful for my journey. Oh, man, okay. Oh, so it's a lot of... Okay, it's the same items. Okay, cool. We only have $24, so nothing we can afford now. You need to talk to an NPC. Oh, I do need to stop to the NPC. Ah, interesting. Oh, does that mean I'm going to spend $10 again? Oh, okay. Did I... Hold the phone. You know, I did save at the train station, so I can just, you know, that's all I'm saying. Bro, save's coming. Listen, this is Mother. From everything I know about Mother, save scumming is the game. Did I just save over it? You know what? I can't even be mad. I was acting so fucking smug. Oh, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Staying on guard in case the murderous mad truck was still lurking somewhere out there, I walked through the suburbs of Reindeer. Oh man, cheapest tickets were $10. Oh wow, I really can't just talk to someone. Someone clip that. Oh Christ. Fucking me acting all hoity-toity to the devs. Like, oh, look what I can do. I didn't screw myself. Oh no. Oh, I really did. We'll go to the... Fine. No, see, you guys, this isn't even the worst thing I've done in terms of Mother. What's that one really powerful piece of armor you get in the volcano or whatever, in the area with the last sanctuary in Earthbound? Like the really powerful one where I think it bumps your defense by like 70 points. Yeah, I tossed that by accident. When I went to get info on it, in the info, like, check thing, I threw it away. And I hadn't saved in so long. So, this is par for the course for me. Oh, Game Boy camera. The train lurched into motion with a piercing whistle and departed from Reindeer, and soon it passed through a dark tunnel. It traveled on for a short while until they finally reached Union. Yeah, the fire spring. Yeah. I threw out the armor there. The really powerful armor. A relatively small station in the town of Marysville. The Paradise line actually continued past the stop, but apparently the bridge was out farther down the tracks, so this was the end of the line for now. The train pulled up to the platform, and I got out. I walked through the ticket gate and left the station. The dazzling light of the sun above Marysville stung my eyes. Well, I guess I'll set out on foot from here. Okay, yes. We'll head for the station, and we'll go back to Reindeer. Okay. way through the gate. Quick save. And we'll speak with people. Okay. Talk to the man. Hey, do you know anything about the strange things that have been going on around here lately? The man lowered his newspaper and nodded.
Oh yeah, all kinds of strange things have been happening. In fact, a group of TV reporters disappeared just the other day. They had gone out on location to a desert and suddenly appeared very recently.
Apparently, all anyone knows is that they were approached by some sort of robot or something like that. They left the time reindeer. Did I talk to the right one this time? Did I talk to the right one? Did I do it? Don't fucking woo me. Dun, dun. Oh, the truck again? Okay, maybe I'll take it. Dun, 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 ba-na, bum, ba. I don't think that was :3 because bro's gonna have to grind $20 again. No, and I'm in reindeer. I didn't talk to the right person. All right, it's the old lady. I was about to speak to the old woman who was doing her knitting, but she spoke to me first.
Sad little boy. Are you heading to Snowman?
Probably. I nodded. The woman seemed relieved, and she smiled.
Well then, will you be so kind as to bring this hat to a girl who lives in the town's church?
I wonder who that could be. Of course. I took her hat from her. It's left the station. Yep, all right, truck again. Driving in my car. Dun, dun, ba-bum, bum, bum. How much money do I have again? Uh-oh. All right, ask for money. $8. I can't even afford to go back to Union Station, man. What do I do here? Wait a second, what do I do here? Leave town, I guess. Staying on guard in case Oh, okay, can I just get in a loop? So I end up, okay, I get money here, okay. So okay, hold on. Hey kid, you want a part-time job? And so I ended up hauling luggage off of incoming trains and down to a nearby warehouse. I worked like this for 3 hours, and by the time I made enough money for a ticket, I was completely exhausted. You have lost 2 hit points, 3 HP! How much money do I have? I stepped on the platform. What? I stepped on the platform. A train had just been arriving, its whistle blaring, and it stopped at the platform with a loud rush of steam, and its passengers began to file out. As soon as I climbed aboard, the departure began. Am I going back to Union? Oh, okay. Do I have enough for Snowman? If I can go to Snowman, I'll go to Snowman. Can't afford it. Damn it. All right. We'll go back to Union Station. You know what we can fight? We could keep fighting the UFO, right? Because the UFO gives 6 EXP. And if we can keep doing that, that's going to be money, dude. So we'll head back to Union. Because not going to Spook Gang. First things first, though. I'm going home. Fucking, Mom, I'm coming home, man. Did I open Blender by accident? I think I whipped my mouse down. Oh no, I opened the GameCube controller thing. It's fine. That did heal me, right? Yes. Is there a way to actually check, like HP and PP and stuff? Or is that just, like, implied? Feeling the way that I do. You can call me Pollyanna. I'm as crazy as a loon. I believe in second chances. That's why I believe. Just remember what the game last told you the stats were. That is fair. Alright, take the road to the mountains. Yes, yes, yes. And then we can fight this guy again. Fight using items. The boomerang. Update soon. I'm not the bright and cool. That is fair. We did get XP from that, right? I didn't just do that for nothing. I presume we did. We just... Let me just grind this fight, right? Just boomerang. Oh, yeah, I did. Yeah, there it is. 6 points. Yeah, that's so much experience, dude. That's going to be huge. Just don't mind me, chat. Well, I tried adding a new pause menu item, and all I managed to do was create a massive vomit of errors. That is so fair. You are not using Renpai. Renpai is using you. So is it $1 per EXP? Because at this rate, maybe we'll need to fight like 2 more times? $1 per EXP. Yeah, I figured as much. So we'll do 1 more fight. And we'll, yep, take a road to the mountains. Yep, fight using items. Boomerang. Game caps you at level 3 until you reach, We're becoming rich. Oh, I need to go back to Podunk. Yep, by using an item. North side. Shopping center. Bank. Bros, we got. My name's not Rick! Alright, let's see. Yo, $54, dude, we're fucking rich. Sponge Boy me Bob, I'm fucking loaded. Union Station, buy a ticket. Now we'll go to Snowman. I stepped through the gate and onto the platform. I could see an approaching express train distorted by heat haze and headed right down the tracks. Stopped neatly at the platform, and then a large crowd of passengers suddenly exited. I stepped aboard the train, and I sat down in a seat next to the window. There was a loud, long whistle, and with a lurch, the train rattled into motion. The Paradise Express was on its way at last. Can I just say, I'm going to MFF this year, right? I wish I could take the train. I love the train. I took the train down to go see some friends who I carpooled with in 2023 to go to MFF. God, I wish the American railway system was better. Rant over. I want to ride trains, man. I had train autism as a kid, and I still do. I watched scenery fly by the window. I thought about what might happen from here on out. The train climbed mountains, crossed over rivers, and plunged into tunnels until at last it began to slow down again. We were approaching Reindeer. The train pulled out of Reindeer Station and traveled onward through a gentle plain. Off in the distance, I could see a small house with a red roof at the base of a hill. And I suddenly found myself feeling homesick. I wondered what my mama and sisters were up to at that very moment. You just saw them, Doug! Finally, after passing through a long tunnel, the train arrived at the station and Huh? I hope everyone's okay. Train set out with a piercing whistle. Hang on a minute. Create the life you want to live. Find a reason to start regularly taking the train. Real. The platform of Spokane Station faded further and further away. Before too long, the track gradually began to climb upward. As I watched landscapes roll by through the window, it slowly changed to one of rugged mountains and deep valleys. And after passing through several long tunnels, I found myself in a land of snow. I was so worried that I had found a glitch where I had gone to Spokane even though I picked the train ticket to Snowman. I found myself in a land of snow. The fields and forests were covered by a fluffy blanket of pure white. Then at last, the train arrived at the station in Snowman, the last stop on the Paradise Line. I stepped off the train and onto the platform of Snowman Station. An icy wind was blowing fiercely. This town was up in the mountains, high above sea level. It was covered in snow for 6 whole months out of the year. That sucks, dude. That sounds like it would suck. Off in the distance, I could see a range of pure white mountains. These mountains served as a backdrop for rows of houses with large gabled roofs, which looked like something straight out of the European countryside. No glitch, trains work. Okay, I see. Oh, okay. Wow, you really get the details, huh? With a loud sound of tire chains grinding against the snow, a 4-wheel drive Chrysler station wagon drove past, and I quickly crossed the street and set out on foot. For the 6 months of the year. Yeah, that would suck. Dude, imagine having to clean snow off the roads, off your car, and your driveway for 6 months. God, it would be like living in Finland. At last, I made it to the town of Snowman. I couldn't believe I'd come so far. Of course, I've been farther from home before. The farthest city I've traveled to was Boston. My papa was a huge fan of the Celtics, the basketball team, and he took me all the way to Boston Garden to see a game. Imagine having to clear snow forever. But that was another story. Anyway, this town was the last stop along the Paradise Line, and it's a long, long way from where I live in Podunk.
New Hampshire, the next state over, was only 20 miles west of Snowman. The stone-paved road continued up a gentle slope and straight to the heart of town. There was no hotel to be seen, probably because this rural town was so small and overlooked. As far as shopping goes, there was a single general store, right next to a building with a sign on it which read National Western Bank, Snowman. We haven't really fought anything. Not like I live far enough north for that kind of thing if we're winter. Listen, I'm just happy. I live far enough north where I can get snow, but that shit starts, like, in November at earliest and ends by, like, March if it's bad. Let's talk to the locals. There were two people out and about. One was an old woman with a fur hood, and the other was a man with a rifle on his shoulder standing beside a Ford pickup truck. Woman. I approached the old woman who happened to be passing by. "Hey now, are you sure you're all right out in this kind of cold with such a light jacket?" She was right to be worried, and I've been doing my best to endure my discomfort. I wouldn't want to worry her, though, so I just smiled. "Ma'am, have there been any strange incidents in this town lately?" "We had snow on Halloween. Would that suck?" I don't know. I don't know if that sounds like that would suck. Global warming has been awesome because I remember wishing it would stay warm until Halloween. Well, wish granted. "Ma'am, have there been any strange incidents in this town lately?" "I just got here from Podunk myself. Strange things keep happening over there, one after another, and it's been causing quite a fuss. Now that you mention it, I heard that they recently discovered some kind of strange cave on the side of the mountains very close to Podunk." "Monkey's paw type beat." "Oh, what's that? You came here from Podunk too?" I said goodbye to the old woman and I hurried on my way. As I walked along the stone-paved road, powdery snowflakes began to flutter down from this gray sky above. The people walking through the streets turned up their collars, thrust their hands deep into the pockets of their thick, warm pants, and hunched up their shoulders as they quickly headed home. Suddenly I noticed a small church in the distance, atop the gentle hill. Where should I go? Church! I climbed the path up the hill and could see the church was really very small. The cross on the roof of the church was a black silhouette against gray clouds. A poster which read, "God Save Us," was hung above the door, and half of it had gotten loose and fluttered loudly in the wind.
Sorry, but we are out of your mother jokes. If you want more, please insert Earthbound 2 in your legitimate Super Nintendo.
Oh, man. Well, thankfully, I actually have a copy of Earthbound, so... please don't ask how much it was. I opened the door and entered the chapel, and in one of the many pews all lined up in rows, I could see a young girl in a pink one-piece dress. The girl was all alone. There was no one sitting at the large pipe organ beside the confessional. Bullshit! I tried to speak, but all I could muster was a pathetic mutter, holding out the small hat I had been given by the old woman I'd met in the train station at Reindeer. She turned around. She had a soft face and large eyes. Someone gave this hat to me, and... As the words finally came up, the girl's face suddenly lit up. "Oh, was it Miss Natalie? Thank you so much. That's so cute! That's such a good design. Again, though, Anna's design just never changes. The backgrounds were Monkey's fault. Blame him for that blunder." What happened? Listen. When it says, no one was sitting at the large pipe, the girl was all alone. Actually, is this an Earthbound 1? So, what this is, Paradox, by the way, hello, Eternal. This is a choose-your-own-adventure book, released in the, God, I keep forgetting, 80s or 90s, that was based off of Mother 1, that has been turned into a visual novel by the likes of two of the devs who are here in chat, Malfasura and Monkey Nest, as well as a team of other very talented translators, programmers, writers, artists. That's the girl. That is not Anna. The girl stood up and walked over to me. When she reached out and took the hat for just a brief moment, our hands touched. And in that moment, I could have sworn that I felt something like a spark between our fingers. I knew she must have felt it too. I pulled back my hand in surprise, and of course she did too, but suddenly, I knew everything about her. I knew that her name was Anna. Oh, Anna! Excuse me, not Anna. Anna. Anna Bruton. She was 12 years old. She was born in a small house beside a big lake near the town of Spooking, and she lived there for the first 5 years of her life. Touching interlude. Then, both of her parents died in a car accident. All alone in the world, Anna was taken in by the man who served as a priest in this town in this church in Snowman. and I knew that there was a certain dark and worrisome shadow that constantly lurked just at the edges of Anna's heart and mind. Are you Douglas Halloway? The one who's meant to be my friend? And you have the same strange powers as I do, isn't that right? I shrugged my shoulders and chuckled. Anna, I don't know which of these questions I should answer first, but you're right. We're meant to be friends. Not a typo. Her name is Anna, and that's an Anna in the original game. I figured as much. I mean, listen, any name changes I'm just going to kind of accept are, like, not typos, and it's just how it is. It's just strange to me, like, there's some consistencies. There's Lloyd, and I guess there is Anna, and Gigu, which, okay, do you guys pronounce it Gigu or Gaigu? Because I've always said Gigu, but it could be Gaigu. I guess that also brings into question, is it Gygus or Gigus? Gigu? It's just a funny way of pronouncing it, of like enunciating it, like Gigu. And I have to go with you on your journey. She finished my typo! Sorry, it's a shit way to say it. She finished my sentence for me, with those wide eyes of hers looking deep into mine. Geek is the official. Oh, interesting. Didn't you hear it just now? A woman's voice saying, "Come to Magi something." The original Japanese kana is that, which is gligu. Oh. Come to Magicant, bring 2 melodies, and 2 friends along. That's what the voice had said, but I knew very well that I hadn't collected 2 melodies yet. You have to go to my old house in Spokane. It's been taken over by ghosts, but there's a mysterious piano in a room on the 3rd floor that plays music all by itself. With that, Anna handed me the key. Or Anna, excuse me, Anna. I told Anna to wait for me by a certain mountain cave on the outskirts of Podunk, and I continued on my journey. What's that? Oh, I couldn't take Anna with me to that old mansion. It belonged to her parents, and she was still too upset about their death to face it. Mouthful SMH. I'm sorry, that's such a shitter thing to do. As a harsh, frigid wind rushed through the streets, I hunched up my shoulders and walked on. All this icy cold weather aggravated my asthma, and I couldn't keep myself from coughing. I took frequent puffs of the mist in my inhaler, but instead of improving at all, my coughing only got worse. As I walked hurriedly on, my footsteps making dull crunching sounds in the snow as that was piling up on the street, I suddenly noticed a figure up ahead, lumbering slowly out from behind a sign which read, Harlington and Richardson Furniture Store. A bear! I had to restructure a lot of Nyasu's translation to fit it into a format of VM, so there's some types. That is, dude, I literally, like, if I notice anything like that, it is literally just like I totally get it. This is, I mean, especially with that, you put this together in 2 weeks? Insane. Absolutely insane. For everything that has been done, like, for this that I've seen so far, to do that in 2 weeks? Bravo! It was a polar bear, an extra large one at that. I had no idea there were polar bears living in Maine. The bear glared at me with a very apparent rage in its eyes. Then it roared fiercely and began barreling toward me. The polar bear's running at me. Quick save. We could use PSI. Fuck it, let's, yeah. The polar bear charged right for me, kicking up clouds of snow as it came. A woman exiting a nearby drugstore saw what was going on and cried. Bound to happen again with this much text. Absolutely. This is a book. Oh, no! What? Oh, okay. PK Fire! Dude, just like Smash Bros! I stood right in the path of the oncoming polar bear, and I concentrated all the energy in my body to cast forth, to call forth a PSI of power. But I could feel an asthma attack setting in because all the cold. Would I be okay? My PSI power became roaring flames. The flames burst from my body and struck the beast head on. And then... The overwhelming heat seemed to bring the bear back into its senses. It rolled around in the snow to put out the flames blazing in its fur, and the bear stood on its hind legs looking terribly puzzled. Finally, it slowly turned its back to me and lumbered off into who knows where. 8 points for experience, not bad. I made it to Snowman's train station. The waiting area was completely deserted. After taking advantage of the station's indoor heating and warming myself back up, I walked over to the ticket counter. I would need at least $10 for the lowest price ticket. Wait, we can't go to Spokane from here. The train had already pulled out up to the platform. Yep. Oh no, we can go to Spokane. Cool. The train slowly pulled away from the platform of Snowman's train station, and I leaned my head against the window and looked out at the scenery. Snow-covered towns and forests drifted by. You don't have PSI, this battle is impossible. Gulp. As you pass through the first tunnel, well, we have 20 PSI now. As you pass through the first tunnel, I returned my eyes to the inside of the train car. I was sitting in the very last row, so all the other passengers were sitting in front of me. Then one of the passengers who had been sitting with his back to me suddenly stood up and turned around. He was a middle-aged man wearing a button-down shirt with a narrow collar. I noticed that his face was strangely disfigured. His chapped purple lips spread wide, and I could see the inside of his mostly toothless mouth as he addressed me.
Hey there. Oh! Hey there, little boy. Why don't you come along and play with me? He was a zombie. I guess at some point a zombie had found its way onto the train. The other passengers were in danger. Everyone listen to me. This train car isn't safe. You'll have to get out of here now. At the sound of my cries, all the passengers sitting up front got up at once. Oh, what a cute little boy. As she stood up and grabbed me by my shoulder, I could see that half of her face had rotted away. She was a zombie too. The train car was full of zombies. And slowly but surely, they were shuffling and stumbling toward me. How am I going to get out of this? Try and fight. With their arms dangling loosely as they walked, the zombies filed out of the seats and into the aisle of the train car as they made their way over to me. He goofed off the seat. It's Go! Wow, 3 rates and I got him! It's Go! How are you? God, I haven't heard from you in a hot minute. It's Go, how are you? What were you playing? What were you streaming? Folks, for those of you who don't know, my name is LoppearLink. I'm a variety PNG tuber. I play a bunch of games, usually silly little Nintendo games. And tonight we are playing Mother, Invasion from the Unknown. This is a visual novel adapted from a choose-your-own-adventure book based on the first Mother game only ever released in Japan. And we have 2 very special guests in chat in the form of Malfasira and Monkey Nest, 2 of the members of the dev team for this VN. Played Baldur's Gate 3? Hell yeah, hope you had a great time. Well, for the folks coming in, if you want to stick around, you want to get your company, grab yourself a snack, and enjoy the stream, you're always welcome to, but if you got to raid and run, no problems there. I managed to free myself from the zombie woman's grasp. I grabbed a fire extinguisher that had been hanging on a nearby wall, and I sprayed at the zombie mob. Just as I had hoped, it at least slowed them down a little. But the fluid in the fire extinguisher ran out almost immediately. I stood there in a state of confused shock, and an old woman zombie suddenly lunged for me. I tried to run for it, but countless sharp zombie nails clawed at my back to shreds. I couldn't help but cry out in pain, and I threw the empty fire extinguisher at them in desperation. Oh, yikes. I frantically tore myself free from the zombies' gnarled hands and broke into a run, screaming at the top of my lungs. I ran into the opposite car and found it was empty. There were no passengers here. It felt like an eerie ghost train. With loud stomping and thudding, the zombie mob chased after me. I found myself backed into a corner. This was the train's last car, a dead end, and the zombies were still coming for me. Then, well, I went with my only option I had left. I hurled myself through the nearest window. I'm just imagining that, like, Ralph Wiggum gif where he, like, is thrown through the window. For a few moments, I hurtled through the air. Then I finally landed in a very fortunately placed cabbage patch. After hitting the ground, I rolled several feet, kicking up clouds of dust and squashing cabbages as I went, until I finally came to a stop. My back was sore from where I'd hit the ground, and I clutched it painfully as I stood up. I could see the train disappearing in the distance, as countless numbers of ghastly arms clawed at the air through the window I'd broken through. Okay, that's fine. Sheesh. Half dragging my tired, aching body, I headed for the nearest town, Spokane. When I finally made it there, it seemed that the train was full of zombies had pulled into the station. They were already causing quite a fuss. But I guess that's not really my problem anymore. After a short while, I found myself in what appeared to be Spokane's main road. It was completely deserted. There wasn't a single person anywhere to be found. Instead, wandering through the streets and scattered across every yard, I could see there were living corpses. Zombies! This place was even scarier than Podunk! At the end of the street, a small whirlwind kicked up a stray newspaper and flung it in circles through the air. Well, then the road splits ahead. North and south. Which way should I go? Ooh, okay. We'll save here. We'll go north. The road heading north came to a dead end at one lone house. On the front of the house, there was a sign that read, Healer's Psychic Clinic. A psychic clinic? It suited the tone of spooking, I guess. I knocked on the door, and a small man with white hair poked his head out. I am Dr. Healer, a spiritual therapist. I provide treatments that your average doctor cannot. When you haven't in need, I do hope you'll come see me anytime. Sure. I shook the man's hand before returning to the main road. When you have the need, the guy said. What the heck does that mean? After a short while, I found myself on Spokane's road. Okay. So I guess we'll head south.
To the south was a huge residential district, but there was no one to be found here either. I wondered if they had all shut themselves up inside their homes, or if everyone had fled altogether. As I walked along with my head full of unsettling thoughts, an old woman holding a shopping basket suddenly appeared from behind a large cedar tree. I stopped short, frozen with surprise, and the old woman began to approach me. Suddenly she raised both her hands and grabbed me by the throat. She's gonna choke me, I have to think fast. Don't worry about this. Let's... items. Frantically, I broke free from the woman's grasp, and then, how will I counterattack? Knife! I pulled the knife from its holster on my belt. As soon as I did, the old woman shrieked and lunged at me. I slashed at the woman desperately, but she grabbed me by my wrist and took the knife from me without much effort. I stood in stunned silence, unable to move as the old woman approached me, now wielding a deadly weapon which made her even more dangerous than before. And she raised the knife and... Oh, shit, really? Oh, damn, okay. Alright, well, making sure I am loading. Yes. Damn, alright, well, I see what you mean about the needing the PSI, goddamn. Well, quick save here. However, I managed to quickly free myself from the woman's grasp. She was under the control of some unknown force, like all the others. The woman's bloodshot eyes opened as wide as she lunged at me, and I countered with a powerful blast of PK Fire! For a few moments, flames flickered along the old woman's back and she jumped around crying, "Ay!" I quickly pulled myself together and put out the fire. The woman sat herself down on the grass in a daze. What have I been doing all this time? She muttered. Lost 10 psychic power? Oh man, we got 10 PP left. After parting ways with that terrifying old lady, I walked about 2 blocks down. PSI is OP? Fucking A, you're telling me. There I found the residential district was split right in half by a large lake. On the other side, I could see a forest of pine trees, and within that forest was a huge mansion. I whirled around and saw an older man in denim overalls, sitting on the ground with his legs sprawled out awkwardly in front of him and leaning against the trunk of a cypress tree. His beard was long and unkempt. He held a bottle of bourbon in his hand. "There's that Lakeside Hill Manor sure is a terrifying place. No one's ever gone in there and come back out alive. You boy, you know you can't get in without a key, don't you? Do you have the key?" Is this the right key? I showed the man the large old key I'd gotten in Snowman. Suddenly, all the color drained from the man's face. "Oh, this kid has the key. He actually has the key. How terrifying. I can't take this." And with that, the man shakily got to his feet, clutched his bottle of alcohol tightly, and sauntered away. I watched him go, feeling very confused. Then I pulled myself together and headed for the mansion. I walked up to the huge front door and found the keyhole. I inserted the key and turned it, and with a click, I heard the lock release. Slowly, the door began to open all on its own. Oh, excuse me. It was pitch black inside the mansion. I slipped through the open door and found myself walking through a darkness as gloomy and intense as the bottom of the sea. Excuse me, God. Gradually, my eyes adjusted, and I began to see things in more detail, like the candelabra along the wall in the hallway, the large bed in a room beyond the spacious parlor, and the lamp that had been placed on a table. The only sound I could hear was my own footsteps. No, wait. Suddenly there was a sound ahead of me, a dull thud, and then some kind of flapping noise. I strained my eyes, trying to see through the darkness. Right above my head, there was a giant bat hanging down from the ceiling. Its red eyes flashed brightly as if it spotted prey. This bat was bright green. It was a bionic bat. Bionic bat is bearing down on me. The bionic bat spread its wings wide. Flap! It realized its claws from whatever it had been clinging to onto the ceiling. It released its claws from whatever it had been clinging to on the ceiling, and it came gliding right for me. And so I... Oh shit! All right, quick save. Let's go boomerang. I pulled the boomerang out of my backpack and hurled it at the beast. A direct hit. With a pitiful cry, the bionic bat fell to the ground and began flapping and thrashing wildly. To my surprise, its body suddenly began to shrink. Before long, it had returned to the size of a regular bat and flew off into the darkness. Making fantastic progress. Yay! 8 points of experience. The showdown with the bionic bat helped me come to my senses, and I decided to try exploring deeper into the haunted house. I climbed an incredibly wide staircase and made my way to the second floor. I continued on down a hallway and came to another set of stairs. Then suddenly, a lone ball of light appeared halfway up the steps. I took a closer look, and I could see that there was a man in tattered clothing, holding a lantern, and slowly climbing down the stairs step by step. He wore a hood over his head, and peeking out from underneath it was a terribly pale, eerie face with large, glaring eyes. He was cloaked in a shade of deep red, and it appeared as though he was covered in fresh blood. A blood-splattered zombie! I was so horrified I broke out into goosebumps. And before I had even had time to prepare myself, he suddenly and very silently floated up in the air and then lunged for me.
I somehow dodged the monster as it swooped for an attack and whirled around. Without a moment's hesitation, I aimed for the blood-spattered zombie's back while it was still in the air, and I kicked it as hard as I could. With a pitiful splat, the zombie slammed face first in the wall. But then, the foul creature turned to face me again with a hideous cackle. A single streak of blue blood was trickling from its forehead. I may have done a little damage to the thing, but I was completely exhausted. What do I do now? Items.
Oh, little boy, let me take you to a world of nightmares you'll never wake from.
The zombie swooped in on me, as swift as the wind. It reached for me with its long arms, and it clawed at me with its nails as sharp as knives. The zombie's attack was far swifter than I expected, and I didn't have time to dodge it. I could feel those sharp nails digging in my throat, and I knew it was all over me. No! Oh, do I not have enough PSI? Oh, shit. Oh, no. How much PSI do I need? Oh, shit. I also don't remember the last place I don't remember the last place I saved. Because I also quick saved at this fight, but there was no way to turn back. Uh-oh. Where was the last place I saved? It was the zombie woman. Shit. Okay. I'm trying to think of like what's the best thing to do. Because I feel like we can go back to the zombie woman fight. We can go back. And I can go sleep at a hotel before I leave. At least I hope I can do that. Yes. Okay. Just for the sake of this. Just for the sake of getting through this. All right. So what we're going to do is the other place the cemetery? No, the other place was Dr. what's his name? Like, hold on, let me go ahead and load the save. Yeah, because it was, oh, we could leave town. Make multiple saves? Great idea. We leave town, what do we do? Oh, okay, it's this train station. So, I think best thing to do is go to Snowman, heal up at the hotel, come back to, or there is no hotel. We'll go to Reindeer. We'll heal up at the hotel, and then we'll come back to Spookane. Hopefully have enough PSI, and then we can make our way. Hopefully 20 PSI is enough, or 30 PSI is enough. Because wow, that is brutal. Let's head for Reindeer then. Okay, we will, well, we can talk to the old lady again. Oh, never mind. She's not here. Dun. Truck. All right, head to the hotel. Oh, you know, we actually didn't go to the hotel earlier, so I skipped, The Atlantic Hotel was a fancy establishment, built by a Japanese real estate company that had been buying up land all over the place lately. And the reason such a fancy hotel had been built here was apparently because the nearby ski resort attracted so many Japanese tourists during the winter season. Save a new file each time you do TBH. Fair enough. I went over to the counter and asked what the rates were. $60 a night? That's way too much. Can we work it off? Oh man, we can't even do that. Wow, that's ridiculous. All right, well, we'll get the part-time job. What does it say? Okay, we have 23 HP. That's ridiculous. All right, back to Union Station. Insane line from Doug if you refuse to stay at the hotel. Hold on, wait, let me go back to it. Snooty Japanese businessman taking advantage of us Americans. What a line. What? Okay, Doug. Right, we'll head back to Union Station. So we'll go ahead and just do. I mean, we can go back home and heal up for free instead. And hey, we'll get a little bit of extra EXP. We can visit home, north side of town. I'm also going to go back to the shopping center, ATM, ask for money. How much do we have? $21 total. Wow, that is not a lot.
Doug, that's not okay. You can't fucking say that. All right, so we don't really have enough. So we'll go south, leave town, next town over, quick save, Union Station, buy a ticket. We'll go back to Spokane. So now, looking at the history, we should. Shopping center. I just want to check to be sure that I should have all my PP. Yep. Did you withdraw money from Dad? Yes. I got like $17. So I have like 20. Actually, I have just enough to go back to Spokane. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to save here. Yeah, because we can't do anything on that path anyway. I'm going to save here, and I'm going to go back to Spokane. Hopefully, 30 PSI is going to be enough. I believe in roses kissed with dew. Oh, you know what? We hadn't seen that before. When the station in Spokane. Okay, no, we did see that. I got off the same platform only once before with my papa several years ago. Spokane was very famous for its pumpkin patches. That's a big part of how the place originally got its name. The town becomes a very popular destination during the spookiest season of the year, when folks carve funny faces into pumpkins and use them to decorate their front yards to celebrate All Hallows Eve, or as it's more commonly known, Halloween. 30 PSI will be enough. It's the max you can have possibly at this point. Okay, cool. My papa and I had come here to pick out pumpkins to decorate our yard that year, but that was a very long time ago now. I walked through the station's ticket gate and entered the town. There was a Ford pickup truck parked crookedly under a giant fir tree in front of the town hall building. I could see something white dangling from the truck's open window. It was a bone. The bone of a human arm, in fact. And sure enough, sitting inside the truck there was... Yikes! The town of Spokane really lived up to its name, which I do in Spokane. Saving here, because this is different. Let's... I don't know if it's a good idea to find somebody to talk to, but... Okay, here we are. Completely deserted. Yep. Well, heading north only gives us to Dr. What was it? Dr. Healer or something like that? Well, I guess all we can do is head south. And then the woman. Okay, so it's like 10 PSI to fight her, but then the rest of the PSI goes to fighting the man. So, fight using PSI. Yep. Alright, and then the key. Oh, the key. Alright, fight using items. Just because we've seen this before. There we go. There we are. New save slot. Fight with items. What? Oh, I should talk to Dr. Healer. Never mind, Doug. Doug, go back. Doug, go back. Doug, funny. Douglas. The road heading north came to a dead end and a load house. The house said Healer Psychic Clank. A psychic clank? It suited the tone of spooking, I guess. Sure, Sugar Man's hand, what does that mean? I was completely deserted. There wasn't a single person anywhere to be found here. Instead, wandering through the... Yep, zombies, even scarier than Podunk. Should I go north again? Suited tone of Spokane. So, it'll help you in a bit. It's important check for progress. I see. Did I fight the lady in this timeline? No, right? Psychic healer. I found myself on my period of spooking. No, okay. In this timeline, quote unquote. Okay, so it is a check. Okay. PSI. Points of experience. The old man. Now try to fight the zombie. Okay, so just gonna save again. Saving over that, because that's an impossible end. Fight using items. Boomerang. Okay. Whoa. Inspired zombie. I've broken goosebumps. Yep, I may have done damage to the thing, but it was useless. Fighting these items. Could I be doing something wrong in, like, me constantly saving and going back? Because that's a very real possibility. There's a sound ahead of me, a dull thud, kind of flapping noise. By using items. Ready the boomerang. Hold on. Let's load. We'll load up the earlier save from when we arrived here. Let me check something. You know what? I didn't look. I mean, that's what I thought. Let's go for a. Well, no, because we have 30 psi here. Right? Because like in terms of the history, we've gone home. We've fully healed. Like, I presume we're supposed to have PSI here. Ooh, feeling the way that I do. Can call me Pollyanna. Oh! Then, wait. Oh! Oh no! Because we used 10 PSI, it's 2 back-to-back level checks! Oh no! No! Oh no! Oops! Well? Could you do me a favor and die? I can do that so easily. To the zombie? Dude, with pleasure. I almost did it again, by the way. I almost saved. Let's, yep, okay, cool. Yep, all right, fight with items. All right, there we go. All right. Visual novel over, guys. What a time, what an experience. What a, You might have gotten the low roll RNG death. Oh. So there's a chance? Okay, so if I just keep loading this fight, there's a chance I could win it? Is that what you're saying? The RNG is deterministic. What does that mean? There are chances few battles your randomized sites cannot win. Oh, am I soft locked? Cut almost all of them, just the original games. This may be a book original soft lock. Yeah, I don't know if trying to work on a patch right now. please do not feel like you need to rush this. So let me actually check something. What's your Discord? Oh, it's the same as my username here, and the same as my username on Twitter. So it's LoppearLink. Fix that. Let's try and fix that. So I assume if I were to like just what is it? Just copy all like the game lib and renpy and the log text folders into the patch friended. Sick. Awesome. All right, there we go. I have accepted. Sending you a Ness emoji. Those open the new version. Perfect. You can carry your saves. Yippee! All right, everybody in chat, spam Ness if you're subscribed. Huge. Thank you guys again for doing this, actually. I really actually appreciate you guys wanting to send the patch over to me. Like, goddamn, I'm flattered. Truly, I am flattered.
Perks of streaming the game. Amen. Actually, you know what I think we're going to do? Really quick, while the patch is being finished and sent over to me, we're going to take a quick little break. Now, I'm going to use this as an excuse to go to the bathroom and refill my drinks. Folks, we'll be back in a couple of minutes. I'm going to play an ad just so we kind of stave off the ads for a little bit longer. Excuse me. And when we're back, we'll be continuing through. Thanks so much for catching us first. Dude, my pleasure. Thank you for being here. But yeah. I will be right back, and when I return, we will have a fix for the game, and we will continue forward. I'm thinking, because it seems like we're kind of on a fast track to it, I'm thinking we'll probably end this when we get to Magic Hand. With that being said, I'm going to play this because this song absolutely fucking rocks. BRB. Come on, YouTube. Don't lag now. You were so good before. Would I be crazy for saying that might be my favorite song by TWRP? Well, with a huge thank you to both of you, frankly, to Mouth and to Monkey, we have the quick fix. We have the patch. So, would you guys recommend I just go straight back to the zombie fight? Download M4E? Awesome. Because I hypothetically speaking, I should be able to go just right back to the zombie fight, right? Because I presume its check has been lowered from like needing 30 PSI to needing 20 PSI. Oh, excuse me. Let's go ahead and get comfy. It is almost 10:30 at night. I should not be having soda because caffeine is not good to have at this time of night. That being said, doesn't have the death. Oh. If you have 30 PSI, you can survive it. If I have 30 PSI going into Spookane, because the problem is the fight with the zombie lady takes 10 PSI because you need to kill her with PK Fire. Going into the zombie fight. I thought fighting the zombie lady, you needed to use PK Fire. Get there without... Oh, okay, so we gotta go back. Okay, so let's go back to the train station. Because at this point, I should have, cool. Okay, so there's a way to win the zombie lady fight. So the zombie lady fight is like an RNG fight where I just rolled bad. May need another weapon. Oh. Perhaps. Let me go back to the zombie lady fight and see what I can do. Items. All I have is the knife. Okay, cool. All right, let's go ahead. We'll load. I don't want to go. Well, actually, we can go to the train station. Because train station is just. Yeah. So, what would be best? Oh my god, we gotta go back to fucking Podunk, don't we? Or we gotta go back to Reindeer to fight the UFOs. Oh, we should get the gun. Maybe the gun? I'm gonna get the gun. Do you want to know the item? Sure, yes, if you wouldn't mind telling me. Station. I went to Reindeer by accident. I don't think I meant to go to Reindeer. It's the frying pan? That's like $20. Oh yeah, wait, we can just go here. Alright, ask for money. $4, $15. $10? God, I hope, because I only have $15 to my name. Yay! Frying pan. Also, it feels a little quieter now. Let me turn that up. There we go. That's better. Whew. $10, I don't even have enough to buy the cheapest ticket. Yeah, as long as I still have all my PP. Board the train for Spookane. I am not good at singing this song. I'm going to page 2. I am saving the game. Boarding the train to Spookane. Okay, here we go. Didn't need that fixed after all. Yeah, I guess I'm just bad. Sorry to make you guys worry about that. Because I was under the assumption you needed to use PK Fire against the zombie lady. Also, I'm going to go ahead and make sure I get that check. Fight with items, frying pan. The woman took a few unsteady steps backwards. She stared at me with those bloodshot eyes, and then she lunged for me once more. Bong! I landed a heavy blow right to her head with the frying pan. The old woman collapsed in the grass and sat there with a dazed look on her face. You gained 2 points of experience. Oh goodness, what on earth have I been doing all this time? Yep, Hill Manor. Alright, so we can skip this. Items. Boomerang. Alright. So, now. I did use PSI in my playtest, but I was in Digma. But oh, yeah. No, that's fair. Still had a soft lock that we found. Oh, okay. That's why I wanted to know what the dialogue choice he had before he died, because I needed to check if it was I need to patch this or I need to send him the patch out. Ah, okay. Right on. Well, from the looks of it, our only option is PSI. Just before the blood-spattered zombie got a chance to grab me by my throat, I concentrated my thoughts and tried to summon psychic energy. I gotta fight back. What should I use? There's a check here. Damn, man. Brain shock. I faced the creature boldly, and I launched a blast of PSI toward it. I battered its brain with powerful psychic waves, a technique called brain shock. The zombie stumbled away and leaned itself up against the wall. I did it, I thought. But as soon as I did, the blood-spattered zombie looked up at me, trembling slightly.
You really think a trick like that would work on me?
Couldn't help but flinch as the zombie lunged for me with sharp nails. Oh, damn. All right. PK Fire it is, then. I hurled a blast of PK Fire at the awful thing. You should use the... Listen. I figured if PK Fire worked before, surely can't. Gambler's fallacy, man. Listen, I learned that from Proton John, and that never worked for her because she would always say Gambler's fallacy in like one of the Mario parties, and it never worked out for her. So maybe. Oh man. My body flashed with a powerful brightness and became an arrow of flames and struck the blood-spattered zombie head on. The zombie was engulfed in the flames and it dropped to the floor, but then with its bloodshot eyes still reeling, the thing sat right back up and spoke to me.
Did you really think a trick like that would work on me?
I did.
Well, you were right.
We got Mother 1.5 before the next episode of Superman 60. Dude, when's the next in-flight movie? Suddenly its eyes rolled back into its head and it fell to the ground with a thud. I'm gonna be so real. When the zombie said, did you think a trick like that would work on me? I got, dude, fucking, again, pulling out the... you lost 10 psychic points. You now have 20 PP. You gained 12 points of experience. So, wait. I had 10 psychic points by the time I got to that fight. I should have been able to use that. Some of the writing in this game is so fun. Dude, fucking Mother games are so goddamn funny. Hey, Gucci Bug. The zombie's body fell to pieces and crumbled into dust. In the end, for some reason, only a pair of dentures was left behind. And just then, I heard the sound of a piano playing. As if entranced by the sound, I staggered toward it. And when I came to my senses again, I was standing in front of a closed room. I grabbed the knob and slowly opened the door. Glad the humor carries over into the odds spin. Same. Absolutely the same. In the middle of the room, there was a grand piano. It was playing music. Even though there was no one sitting at it, I couldn't stop myself from approaching it. The black and white keys moved up and down all on their own, and a melody drifted through the room. As I listened to it, it felt so terribly nostalgic. I couldn't understand why, but like a memory from a previous life, it stirred something deep and emotional within me. With that done, I was ready to get out of that creepy house as soon as possible. So, okay. So far, the melodies we've missed of the 8 melodies, because I'm sorry, I'm very interested in this. Of the 8 melodies that are in Mother 1, what have we missed so far? Or what have we not gotten? Because we have the piano, so there's no melody from the baby doll. And we got the one from the canary. So we still have yet to see, because of the 8 melodies, you guys said there's 5. So we have yet to see if, what is it? This game lacks the melodies from the doll, the monkey, and one more. Is it the cactus? It's either going to be... my money is on the cactus or the dragon. Because there is no way they're going to leave out... What is the robot's name? Eve? There's no way they're going to leave out Eve. And there's no way they're going to leave out George's grave. Dragon and cactus... So, they either left out Eve, which is a huge part of this game, or the final melody? They either left out George's grave or Eve. That's insane. It's the grave? That's insane. They keep the dragon, but not, like... like, I'm sorry. I feel like of all the melodies... I mean, I feel like of all the melodies to leave out in the game, George's is the one to, like, keep in the game or in the story. Dragon's cooler than the grave? All right, well, we're going to have to ban Monkey Nest now. No, I'm kidding. That's insane. That's insane. I'm sorry. That just... With that done, I was ready to get out of that creepy house as soon as possible. I hurried down the stairs and out through the mansion's front door. I never looked back to see the mansion again. Its backdrop of pine trees. Not even once. Grave and Eve happen so close together in the story. Yeah, that makes sense. And I guess of the two, I'd rather have Eve than the grave, but I don't know. The grave is so important. Then again, there is that one animation. Who did that animation? Who did that animation? The 8 Melodies animation by Watano Lemon, who does, in my opinion, some of the greatest mother animations of all time, right? Even they, in their animation for it, they didn't put it as George's grave. They put it as Mary singing the final melody. Oh, man. Apparently, the drunk old man had returned at some point and been taking a late morning nap in a nearby thicket. And when I passed him, he called out to me. He's very talented, but very... Oh, no, are they? I didn't know. Oh, that hurts. Damn.
Hey there, kid. You're still alive, I see.
I ignored him and continued running all the way back to the heart of Spookane. The town was still crawling with zombies, but I'd take this over that haunted house any day. After a short while, I found myself on what appeared to be Spookane's main road. It was completely deserted. There wasn't a single person anywhere to be found. Instead, wandering through the streets and scattered across every yard I could see, there were living corpses. Zombies! This place was even scarier than Podunk. Alright. So, let's head north just to see if there's anything new. Okay, so that's just a check that we'll need at some point. Alright, cool. So we'll go ahead and leave town. Didn't have enough money. Okay. So now that we've finished that, I'm gonna be so real. It's been so long, I don't remember where Anna said we should go. Cause I feel like we... Did Anna leave Snowman? I don't remember if Anna left Snowman yet. I don't think she did. She didn't. We're going to Snowman. I remember. We're going to Snowman. Celtics, yep. We will walk around town. Oh. A harsh frigid wind rushed through the streets. All this icy cold wind aggravated my asthma. Oh, polar bear. Can we use, like, can we use an item against the polar bear? Let's try. Oh yeah, because we, didn't we try the knife before? The polar bear was rushing straight at me with a deafening roar. It was panting heavily, and I could see puffs of hot white breath curling from its lips. Pulled out the gubber knife from the holster of my waist and braced myself. Came rushing in, and a few dozen feet from me, it leapt in the air and lunged. I slashed it, but the polar bear very easily knocked the knife aside, opening its jaws and singing, "Oh my god! That's brutal, dude!" Alright. Alright. We'll go. Uh-oh. Run. I turned and fled, kicking a cloud of snow behind me. I ran as hard as I possibly could. I suddenly remembered something that Papa had told me once, that a bear running at top speed could easily overtake a car. But I was lucky. Snowman's train station was pretty close by. Whew. Whew. I dashed into the train station. Just as I'd hoped, the bear seemed to lose interest and chase me, turning its big round behind me. It loped off to who knows where. I don't wanna. No, I don't. No. No, I'm going back. I guess talk to the locals was how I got to the church, I think. That bear is brutal. You're telling me, man. Head for the bank and talk to. Well, if it isn't my Doug boy, what do you need? What do I need for my papa? Bear jump scare. $27 total. Visit the general store. Wow, you guys are overpricing your shit. I don't want to sell my items though. Buy something, will ya? Sell something, will ya? What is that? That's like $30 right there. So I'd have like $50. But selling 3 items to get one, either an air gun or what was that? An air gun or a slingshot. If you haven't sold it yet, the rope does nothing. Awesome. So you guys weren't kidding when you said that. All right, I have like $28 now. I don't want to sell the boomerang. Okay, is the boomerang... No, because it just wouldn't matter. Look what's for sale. Thank you for plucking a Pikmin. Monkey insisted we keep the rope. Finish shopping, head somewhere else. Oh no, bear again, isn't it? For accuracy. How do I get to the church again? Hold on. Because I'm sorry, I just want to get to the church is the problem. Like, speaking with father is great, but... Talk to the locals? That's what I thought. Okay. Talk to the locals. Yep. Old woman. Leave town. What? No. No, no, no. No, no, no. Man. Oh, wait. It's not safe for you to be wandering around a place like this. A huge polar bear's been seen in these parts very recently. Apparently, it devoured Briggs' boy alive. I don't need to go back to Anna? I thought I did. I thought now that we got the second melody. Read Anna's line more carefully last time you saw her. Oh boy. Let me... Doug, zombie, Doug, drunk, doctor, Doug, Papa, Doug, Papa, no. Polar bear, this ain't Alaska, I tell you, there's been nothing but weirdness going on around here lately. I heard a huge desert suddenly turned up overnight, somewhere north of here too. So walk the stone paved road, powdery snowflakes. Okay. The gist is you tell him Anna to meet her. Oh, to meet you in the mountains outside Podunk. That's what I thought. All right, we're gonna go ahead, fight using items, try to run. Again, you guys are gonna have to forgive me. I have something called stupid. Oh, we're just gonna have to work like, because we can't even afford the fare there. Oh, I don't wanna board for Spookane. Fuck. Am I screwed? Can I work off my debt in Spookane? Okay, you know how I can fix this. Oh, I can work off my debt in Spookane, but I didn't even want to go to Snowman. I can go to Reindeer. Again, Saves Coming is all part of Mother. Truck! Saves Coming is very much part of the VM experience. I think I've only genuinely played 2 VNs in my life. Well, aside from this, I've played 2. Alright, we're gonna go ahead and leave town. We're gonna go the fuck home. North side, south, leave, mountain. I left Podunk and headed straight for the path leading toward Mounty Toy. I slowly made my way up the mountain path. About halfway the peak, I finally arrived at a massive cave entrance that appeared to have been carved directly into the mountainside. And right in front of this cave, I shared a heartfelt reunion with my 2 friends. There was Anna Bruton, the mischievous and gutsy girl. And there was Lloyd Schneider, a somewhat shy boy who reminded me a lot of the Cowardly Lion from The Wizard of Oz.
As soon as they noticed me, they waved and came running over.
Doug, there's a man waiting for us inside the cave.
So we all headed inside. Deep within the cave stood an old man with a white beard who looked like a lot like a wizard from a Chinese fairy tale.
You have done well to come this far, boys.
Hey! As he spoke, his voice echoed throughout the cave. Hey, there's a girl here too, you know?
Silence!
Clearly this guy was not a fan of women. What?
By the way, Doug, have you seen my dentures? Without them, I cannot tell you which of you three should go from here.
But you're talking to us just fine right now, aren't you? I was puzzled.
That is because I'm speaking of matters concerning this world. To speak of the other world, I will need those dentures.
I must have dropped them somewhere. These Doug's descriptions give you a good idea of how to voice them. Yeah, I guess. You gotta be kidding. I sighed with a defeated shrug. Well, are these the dentures you're looking for? I held out the dentures I'd gotten from that monster in the haunted house back in Spookane. The old man took them, spat out the dentures he had been wearing, and then replaced them with the ones I'd just given him. He moved them around in his mouth for a while, and then glared at me. I couldn't tell if he was angry or pleased.
These are the ones I was looking for. All right, then. Follow me.
Then an old man led us further into the cave. We walked along through the darkness for a long time, so long I thought we might soon find ourselves at the gates of hell itself, until at last we could see a dim light up ahead. It turned out that the light was coming from a faintly growing moss that was growing on the cave walls. I could also see that the cave came to a dead end here, and there was something reaching from the rocky cave floor up to the low ceiling above. It was an oddly shaped rock that looked like a giant snail shell. It was smooth and shiny, and it curved upward in a spiral. Suddenly, the old man whispered,
Who has lost his tail?
Much to my surprise, the rock gave a reply.
The forgotten one on the ship that sails the cosmos.
Lloyd jumped back in fright.
Yikes! Talking rock!
From this point on, you will be in the world of Magicant. Once you move on from here, you must meet with Queen Mary. A new journey begins for you soon. You may travel to Magicant at any time you desire, but only once you have attained the onyx hook in that world.
The old man gave me a very meaningful glance.
Take heart and go on.
As soon as the old man said this, we found ourselves swept away by an invisible force, like leaves sent flying by October winds, or small boats caught in a violent maelstrom. Oh, I love the Magicant theme. Woo! Congrats on estimating about halfway through the game, if not a bit further. Yippee! I'm going to say if that's the case, we're going to go ahead and save here. In fact, we're going to go save in slot 1. And I think that is actually going to be a great place for us to end for the night. I am blown away. I once again want to give a shout out to everybody on the team, Monkey Ness, Malfasura, Yarshmello, RKD, and Nyasu Nekoban, for the incredible work you guys have put into this amazing visual novel adaptation of Invasion from the Unknown. This is wicked cool. I am enamored by everything that's been put into this. All the effort and love that's been poured into this for a obscure, like relatively obscure mother visual novel from 30 years ago is awesome. Thank you so much for playing. I hope you've seen it. Dude, absolutely. I am coming back to this. We are not leaving this an unturned stone. We are 100% coming back to this. I am not leaving this unfinished. But, and I guess this is good music for the, I guess this is good music while we continue talking. Because with that being said, I want to thank you all so much for watching. If you're subscribed, the raid message is Rabbit Raid. But if you're not subscribed, you should definitely consider doing so. You get a bunch of cool emotes, get to skip the ads, and get to support me directly. But if you are subscribing, the raid message is Rabbit Raid. Let's see who we can raid tonight. Let me go find somebody. Oh, you know what? Oh, I have no idea if he's still going to be going. How long has he been going? He's been going for 8 hours. God damn. Well, let's go bother him. We're gonna go raid into my good friend Ironside Hans. He's been streaming for 8.5 hours. It is his birthday. It was his birthday the other day, but he's doing his birthday stream, and right now he's playing Hollywood Animal. Again, big shout out to the Mother Invasion from the Unknown team. Would very highly recommend checking out this VN for yourself if you haven't already. Obviously, for people watching this on the YouTube VOD upload, I will be including a link to it in the description below. But with that all being said, and you know what? This is a special mother-related stream, so as much as I'd love to raid out on our house, let's get my favorite version of this song going for the raid out. Because with all that being said, I want to thank you all so much for watching, and until next time, I'll see you. Talking about streams coming up this week. Because this is my first stream of the week, and I like to talk about what streams are coming. Tomorrow, I'm going to be doing some Fortune Treat, actually, with Ironside Hans, as well as my friend Croa Orca and Pam Pam Powa. On Wednesday, I'm going to be returning to Mother 3 for Chapter 3. No stream this Thursday, as it's Thanksgiving, obviously. On Friday, I'll be with my friend Hikari Squish, and we'll be hopefully finishing up Pikmin 1, where he's been doing his first playthrough. And on Saturday, I've decided to just do a chill, nice Roller Coaster Tycoon 2 stream. We'll just be hanging out, building roller coasters, and shooting the shit. With all that being said and done, though, I want to thank you all so much for watching. And until next time, I'll see you guys tomorrow for Fortune Street. See ya!